Views and opinions expressed on this channel are solely those of the host and guest and are intended for entertainment and discussion purposes only. This channel does not promote bias, hatred, or discrimination of any kind. All questions posed and thoughts shared are part of a critical thinking exercise and are not meant to offend or judge any individual or group. We encourage respectful dialogue and love for all. Please remember to think critically and engage thoughtfully. We aim to foster a positive and inclusive community where everyone feels welcome. Thank you for being a part of Risky Behavior ENT.
Risky behavior. Risky behavior.
Whoa. Damn it, man. Yo, what's up? Welcome back to Risky Behavior ENT. I am your host, Mr. Diabolical himself. My apologies for being late. I'm gonna go ahead and react to this video. A lot of people done reacted to it. It's from the Dr. Daff show, conservative versus trans women, the bridge. I guess they're trying to bridge the gap. I listened to this conversation. I guess you could say they bridged the gap, if that's what you want to say. Not much of a bridge to me. So anyway, I came up with this title, Biology versus Identity. Trans women bang it out with the women. Yo, what's up? First things first, I got my homie, the Prince of Petty, is in the biddy in the building. What's up, brother?
Man, what's up, bro? What's up, man? You started that last one, bro, and like bro, you started lives, you started pre-recordings before, and they never said premiere in the bottom left or anything. Some of them suckers said live. So when I commented in the chat, that was just me saying what's up to you because you said hello in your own chat. And then when you responded to me, bro, I was like, I double took. I was like, wait, what the hell?
Oh yeah, nah. This usually I try to be, but on some Saturdays, I be with the family, so I pre-record something like, I'm with the family, so I pre-record something,
Yeah, that one that caught me off guard, bro. Like I really thought that was for recording. You caught me off guard with that one.
Oh yeah. I got you with that one. You know what? But in the back of my mind, I was like, one of these days, him and Marcus is gonna come say something to me, and I'm gonna respond. It's gonna throw him off because I done got them too used to the pre-recordings.
Yeah, that was it right there. That was it. That was it right there.
I was like, one day, I'm gonna get him. All right, I'm ready. Can you see it on the screen now?
Yeah, I see it, man.
All right, cool. All right. On save. And I am ready. I'm ready to go. So what I was going to say. Oh, okay. So they got this debate, conservative women versus trans women, the bridge, right? And conversations like this is why I say be careful who you talk to. It's because you have people that sit here and say, we want you to accept us. We want to have an honest conversation. But when they sit down and talk, the conversation isn't very honest at all. One thing that I noticed just right off the bat, the title says conservative versus trans women. Why
Yeah, the
couldn't it
title is
be?
dishonest in and of itself.
Yeah, why is it not conservative women or biological women? Is it because it may offend other people? That whole, are you saying we're not real women? Just something to think about.
Right.
Let's see.
This started, is there any nuance for you? Because to me, entering in a conversation like with you, it's easier for me because you are allowing nuance, and it sounds to me as if you're not allowing that.
Why is that?
Your immediate response, I think it was really clear where you're at in comparison to Emily's. I think it's, I mean, am I off by
I don't
that?
think you're off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you that I don't understand your lived experience because I've never lived an experience as a man. Or
I'm not living an experience
a
as a man,
trans
friend.
person.
And I just want to be clear to everybody in this room that I was invited here as a woman. So if we're going to engage in a conversation with each other, I would appreciate the respect of being talked to as a woman for this conversation. You don't have to agree, but I'm not going to be in here and being talked to that way because we were invited here all as women. Be
you were
clear.
actually invited here as a trans
Yes,
woman.
trans woman.
And when
That's
you
called a
have to put-
distinguisher, friend.
What does it truly mean to be a woman? In today's episode of The Bridge, conservative women and trans women come together for a raw, honest, and respectful conversation about identity, gender, rights, and roles in society. This isn't about winning an argument. It's about listening, sharing, and finding the human stories behind the headlines. Welcome to The Bridge.
You can tell it's about to get spicy off the bat, right?
Yeah, I got a feeling this gonna go pretty left, if I'm being perfectly honest. She came right off the bat talking. She came right off the bat. She came right off the bat talking about she won't be addressed as a woman, but you're cosplaying. You're not a. That's right. Go ahead and play the. Go ahead and play the video.
I was like that. Like, okay.
Hi, my name's Chrissy. I am a trans woman, obviously, and I'm in nursing school, just here to kind of say what I need to say, talk, and defend the girls as usual.
Hi, my name is Scarlett. I identify as a transsexual, and I'm just here with the girls for moral support.
Hi, I'm Blossom. I'm a powerful trans woman. You already know. And I'm here with my beautiful sisters, here ready to engage.
Yes, hello, I'm Stassi. I am a trans woman here to hopefully have a conversation with you guys, a good one.
I ain't trying to be mean. Never mind. It's just a lineup of people just saying things that's just not true.
Can I be mean then? Can I do it?
Yeah.
The names escape me. I'm not good with remembering names, but the black one, clearly a man. Clearly. The first one, she can pass for a woman. I'm assuming she's an actual woman just there to defend the trans. I'm assuming.
Which one?
The very first one who spoke. It looked like it's 4-on-4. Yeah, yeah, the black. In the black.
Actually,
That's actually a deal. Okay. So it's 4 trans versus 4 women.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess he did a good job with his transition, I suppose. Okay. Well, the black one did terribly. Did a horrible job. Horrible, terrible job.
Hi guys. I'm Hi guys, gals, whatever.
Girl, you're good.
Everybody.
Don't worry.
My name's Emily. I'm a political media personality. And yeah, here to talk. Okay, yeah. I can put myself in the Republican conservative box.
Hi, my name is Kristen Nicole. I am a conservative Christian woman, and I currently serve as the president of the Orange County Young Republicans, and I live in Newport Beach.
Hi, I'm Angelina. I would also put myself as a conservative Christian. I'm a senior in college, and yeah, I'm just interested to learn more today.
Hi, my name is Jewel. I would put myself in the conservative box as well, but I am very middle ground, and I love to hear everybody else's perspectives before coming to my own conclusion.
Womanhood is defined by biology.
Pause it, Bob. I got a feeling that the trans are about to be utterly destroyed. You got a political media lady and two conservative Christians that's going to speak on this. The trans are going to be annihilated.
What do you think so far? Do you think that womanhood is defined by biology, or is there like a well, of course, it's going to be a percentage of it attributed to where you grow up, social constructs, things like that. It might not necessarily be biology, but do you think for the most part it is defined by biology?
Personally, yes, I believe it's defined by biology, because when you pass away, when you die, and you become nothing but a skeleton, your DNA is going to say what you were, not what you believed you were.
Yeah, exactly. But also too, I think about things like which they're gonna speak on those things that I don't want to necessarily talk for women, but it's kind of like if we were talking to a trans man, um things that about our biology that take us into manhood, the hormones and things that we naturally that happen to us. For women, I think is a little bit more deeper and easier to relate to because them, they're getting their body growing, things like period and certain things that are attributed to womanhood, things that a little girl goes and talks to her mom about. I don't think you can skate around that and pretend like that's not a thing and to pretend that it has nothing to do with womanhood is what I think the trans side is going to try to do.
No, absolutely, I wholeheartedly agree with that. And yeah, they're gonna try to tiptoe and skate around that, and that's why I said that I believe they're going to be utterly annihilated because between I don't know about I don't know about the very last lady on the women's side, but between the first woman and the other and the two conservative Christians, the trans are going to be destroyed verbally. They're going to be verbally eviscerated in this, and the trans are going to speak. The trans are going to mainly speak on their emotions and experiences. That's how I think this is going to go.
All right, let's get into it.
So my take on the whole woman who's defined by biology is I just kind of feel like the debate is very redundant. I mean, you can say like, oh, trans women aren't biological women, but then also still say you should still treat them as women and we should still be treated as, just a normal woman. I mean, like I said, the whole point of going back and forth of this terminology, it's just, there's no real point. And the people who disagree, it's very unlikely they're ever going to change. And the people who already agree on it, it's very unlikely that they're ever going to change. So people should just kind of like, I just think the argument's sort of pointless at this point.
I kind of feel the same way. Like I just have a very different viewpoint on what womanhood encapsulates, like in terms of like everything. I think it's very I just don't think it's right to like make snap judgments like that about a situation that maybe you don't know like what my experience in womanhood is. Like just like maybe I don't know what yours is. I just feel that snap of like making womanhood depend on biology just feels wrong to me.
I believe it's 100% biology. I believe from the second I was born as a woman to when I die as a woman, that entire journey, as difficult and beautiful as it is mine. So it's always going to be different. But I believe every step of the way is affected by the fact that I was born a woman, I'm a woman, and I think it's very beautiful and sacred. And I would just never want that to be something that someone could just claim, I guess. So yeah, I think my whole journey will be because I'm a woman.
Well, what if I told you that's my experience? From the moment I could even form thoughts, I was a girl, like always has been, always will be. I was verbalizing that I was a woman or girl from the moment I could speak. So honestly, I relate, like, because I feel the same way. While your experience might look a little bit different than mine, I feel.
Hold up. I'm thinking maybe the lady said something wrong. Hold on.
And I think it's very beautiful and sacred. And I would just never want that to be something that someone could just claim, I guess. So yeah, I think my whole journey will be because I'm a woman.
Well, what if I told you that's my experience? From the moment
That
I
wasn't your
could
experience.
even form thoughts, I was a girl, like always has been, always will be.
That wasn't your experience, though. It literally wasn't.
This person said before I could form thought, I was a girl. Okay.
Right. That wasn't your experience.
This is insane. I want you to notice too, and I noticed this thing where people go in and out of when they want to share an experience with someone. So the woman gave her experience, and the trans woman steps in and says, "Oh, same experience," right? But I want you to notice how in other parts of the conversation it becomes, you can't speak to my experience because you don't know my experience. But wait a minute, I thought we shared an experience. I just wanted to point that out
Right.
here and hold on to that for later.
But look, also, let me say this. Did I not say when you asked me, did I not say that they were going to speak on feelings and experiences? And right off the bat, what happened?
Oh no, I agree. I knew it was coming.
Right off the bat, the first lady. Well, I'm sorry. Force a habit. Force a habit.
You know what? I don't care how somebody does somebody's pronouns. That doesn't bother me. If this person robbed me and I had to tell the police who robbed me, I'm going to say it was a woman so that they can find them. I'm not going to say it was a guy because they're going to look for someone that looks like a guy. I get pronouns. We're just going to describe what we see. We don't really know what we're seeing, right?
Right.
So I don't even care about that. It's the fact that if we're going to be in an intimate conversation, we should abandon public ways of talking about it. Publicly, I'm just going to say pronouns to be professional. But if we're being intimate and bridging the gap, trying to understand each other, we have to stop lying and we have to just have an honest conversation. That's my point. In public, but if you're going to say, oh, we're bridging the gap and we're being honest, it's like, no, you're not. All right, hold
Right.
on.
I agree with that.
I was verbalizing that I was a woman or girl from the moment I could speak. So honestly, I relate, like, because I feel the same way. While your experience might look a little bit different than mine, I feel the same. I was always a girl, was always a woman, am a woman now. And I think that things are harder to define rather than just looking in that like black and white box of, oh, it's biology, oh, it's not biology, because I think that really confuses what my experience is, and also what you said, kind of like how different yours is, you know?
I'd have to disagree with that. I have lived a woman experience, but you never truly have had a lived experience as a woman. You have to think about biology, chromosomes, hormones. You can't discount biology and reality. If you feel like you've had a lived woman experience, that's not rooted in reality. You actually don't.
That's your opinion.
That's exactly what I believe.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, and I absolutely disagree and completely believe the opposite. So like, I can already see where this is going, like bringing in like spirituality. I've kind of just gotten the vibe a little bit, and like, I'm not on that same playing field.
But how could you truly know what it is to have a lived experience as a woman if you weren't born as a woman?
Yeah, how could you know what my experience is as a woman if you've never been in my shoes?
Uh-oh. I told you. I thought we shared experience. That's what she said the other time when the other woman got done speaking. She jumped right on in there and said that was her. So now when another woman speaks, now we don't share the experience. How convenient. How convenient.
Hypocritical. Very hypocritical.
You were born, first of all, how could you have had the woman's experience if you spent your life transitioning to the woman? That right there says that you didn't have it. You didn't.
Makes
you didn't have it. If I
makes you ponder, doesn't it?
Exactly. Because you've been spending your time, your money, your effort, and investing in something. This has been a life's journey for you. Which and shout out to anybody that goes on their own personal journey. But you can't say that to somebody that's just naturally this. This is what they are. It's two different experiences. And this is why people don't get them and people don't understand them at all. Because you're saying one thing and doing another, and it's just not making sense to say that I had this legitimate experience of something that, but at the same time, in my name, I'm admitting that I'm transitioning into this thing. So I was not this thing. So how could I have had that experience? And here's my thing. If you're okay with who you are and what you are, why can't we be honest about it?
Right. Absolutely right. I can't wait for the black one to talk, because the black one's gonna be interesting. How you doing?
I mean, they can say what they want to say. I will see you all down there when we go get our prostate exams.
Now that was evil.
We will. We will. And things like this matter because there's certain diseases and certain illnesses that tend to attack men and some that tend to attack women. These things are all a part of our lived experiences. It ain't about just putting on the dress and lipstick and makeup and everything. What are you talking about?
100%.
But you don't.
But I've
also
been a
know,
woman my whole life.
but respectfully, you also don't know what it's like to be a trans woman. And I think that we get too comfortable reducing trans women down just to their genitalia. Because let's be clear, when we talk about the experience of being a trans woman, it does not start with biology. It starts with gender identity, gender expression, and how we socially show up. My womanhood is not a threat to your womanhood. And I actually agree with you. I have a similar way of thinking of like, I was born this way, I will die this way. My experience is very sacred. And that's why I'm in alignment with all of you here to be able to share that. I just think that certain groups, certain people love to use the conversation around biology, but we don't want to talk about the nuances of biology. There are some women, some cis women who look more masculine than trans women. And does that take away from their womanhood? So I really think that we really have to open up and expand and broaden on what it is to be a woman.
Or like intersex people. Like,
By the way, I respect your opinions, but I 100% do agree with her. Most likely we do. I feel like that's almost like me being like, oh no, your experience is like a paraplegic. Like I'm totally there and feel for you. It's like, how could I even say that. That's, to me, I feel offended being like, yeah, no, I've totally been there. Like, we agree to disagree because you haven't. And you
I
never
would
will.
argue that maybe our experiences are more similar than you would think. Like
I
really
agree.
how I've like been exposed to certain things. And even as somebody who had not come out as a trans woman yet, was going through experiences that women go through. And that may not resonate with you, but it's not really your place to tell me what I experienced and what I didn't.
Yeah, I was born a woman. Everything about me is a woman. All the hardships I go through every second of every day, being a woman, going through, I mean, I don't want to talk about too much personal stuff just because I am a public figure and most of it's extremely traumatic.
I want y'all to notice how the trans women are now telling the women what a woman's experience is. I know you was born as a woman, but you shut your mouth because I'm gonna tell you what it's to be a woman. What the hell?
That's how they do. They think they know more. That's why when people go on these shows, that's why they're labeled as delusional.
This is insane. You know this is insane. And then here's the thing. It speaks to the delusion of the mind. I'm trying to think of a way to say this in a polite way. Without being a woman, you don't know if you're experiencing what you're experiencing, right? If that's the woman's experience, right? If you're a person that's an outsider, right? I would assume that person has gone through things, right? Being an outsider is not easy, right? Number one, this person is overweight. They're not very attractive. And then you talking about people may have noticed this is a guy trying to be a woman. People may have just been mean to you just because you stand out a little bit. But you can't take that and say, oh, I'm going through the same things as a woman is going through. That's insane. Because didn't they just say
Yeah.
this was before they transitioned? That's insane. How could you say that that's what you went through and that is the experience of a woman? You wouldn't know. You could guess. You could guess and say, oh, this must be what women go through. So, I've experienced the same things women have experienced. No, you have not. You're just making up something.
That I think probably every woman goes through. But just from being a little girl, going through puberty, being around men, I've been in LA, was going out at a young age, through dealing with health issues, periods that sent me to hospitals up until this day, hormone issues, constantly dealing with also being a public figure and my image and all these things. It's just so difficult. Sometimes I'm like, the fact that we work is so crazy to me because what I emotionally go through 24/7. I've dealt with cervical cancer, which has been the most traumatic thing I've ever gone through, multiple times, multiple surgeries. Women's healthcare is genuinely medieval. It makes me sick. I am very pro-woman. I hope that comes across. And I'm just like, my entire journey, my hormones, what I was born at, my biology makes me who I am and takes me on this journey. And I just always want that to be something respected because I really feel for women. What we go through is just, thank God I am in this country. If I was somewhere else, there's always room for nuance. I do agree. I totally understand a different perspective. I can respect it. I just might not agree with that, but I don't want that to be like, oh, I'm shutting you down as no, and I'm right. Because I don't want it to be that. I just want it to be like, this is just my journey. And the older I get as a woman, I'm 31, I want to get married. I want to have kids. And I see what women go through with having children. I just think we are like the most like magical creatures. And I just want that magic to remain. If that makes sense. I just think it's really special.
I would say where I feel like a lot of overlap does come in between lived experiences is between, societal, like living how society views you. No one is sitting here thinking she is a man in any capacity, So when she's walking out,
you're gorgeous.
Everyone's thinking.
And so are you, by the way. I don't look at you guys.
No,
like,
don't
dude,
worry.
it's like, no.
Yeah. And,
no,
you know,
like genuinely, that's what's like, what's up, ladies?
but when we go out and like, let's say, you know, no one knows, you know, we have our names changed and everything. When we go on a job application, you know, we're going to be applying basically as a woman. So we're going to be treated as a woman, you know, and we walk out of the house, you're going to be treated and seen as a woman. So I think in societal standards, there is definitely some overlap, but I will say, I also agree to the point of there are experiences, you know, none of us could ever understand when it comes to womanhood and when it comes, yeah. And, you know, but I feel like that's also where it comes
that's actually really respectful.
Yeah, that comes to the uniqueness of like trans womanhood, you know, growing up trans, living trans.
They keep using this word trans and then still trying to relate it to women. Y'all have a trans experience, not a woman's experience. Kim says a trans woman can't ever tell a woman they experience the same thing. Our bodies change throughout life from the day we were born. And that's very true. It's even like this comedian made a joke. When you go to the women's section in the store, they got all kind of shit. You go to the male section in the store, we got soap, deodorant, body spray. We ain't that complicated. It don't take that much.
Tell that to the lady who said, "What if that was my experience? What if I was what if I felt like I was a woman? What she said? What if I was female from the time I could formulate thought?"
Man, my thing is, and I know Ellie Bear says that's because trans women are women, trans rights are human rights. That can be true, but if you say trans, that means they're not a woman. Look, I'll break it down to you. Watch this. I was arguing with somebody on Clubhouse, right? And we was talking about race, right? And I said, race is fake. And they said, what do you mean race is fake? Race is not backed up by science. It's just a social construct. You can look it up. Bet any money on it if you want. The same thing is now with gender. So if you say you separated, because remember, that was the rule. You said that you separated sex from gender. Sex being the biology, and then gender being this identity, which is a part of a social construct. Correct? And if it is a social construct, it is very subjective, it is forever changing, and essentially it's fake.
Amen. I was letting you cook, bro. Amen.
Uh-oh, I guess you lose. It can't be real. I can take you to certain places where women act a certain way and then other places where women act another way. Like even with these men, when they say, oh, women are masculine, right? But I could take you to the country and you see a white girl or country girl, white or black country girl wrestling a pig down, riding horses, roping cows, and playing in the mud, driving big ass trucks, lifted, big ass wheels on them. And they don't call them masculine. That womanhood, when it comes, if you're talking about a social construct, is forever changing anyway. So I guess anybody can get on it anyway. But what they're saying is my biological experience, you could have never experienced because you don't have the body of a woman. And I am a man with the body of a man, the same biology. And I'm telling you, I ain't never felt like no woman in this body. It's impossible. But mentally, somebody can think it. And in some cases, how could you even know if you're having the experience of a woman? If you're a man and you put on a dress and you got out in public and somebody is rude to you, you go, see, now I know how these women feel. These men are always rude. But what you forgot is that you're a man that put on a dress and somebody might know that you are a man and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying in their brain, they see a man with a dress on. And so when they were mean to you, it wasn't because they're being mean to a woman. They're being mean to somebody they feel like shouldn't be doing what they think they should be doing. Your experience is always a trans experience, is what I'm saying. You're never having a woman experience. You're having a trans woman or a trans man experience. It's a unique experience. And if your movement is that important to you, Why would you ever mix it with somebody else's experience? No, stand on your experience. It's important. It is. What up? Totally said they said the experiences overlap, but not the same. A lot of people experiences overlap. It ain't the same.
These people sitting up there will never know what a menstrual cramp feel like. They'll never know what childbirth feels like.
He said, create, I don't know what this person talking about, the creation of a vagina for a transgender woman is called a penile inversion vaginoplasty. It is the most
Oh God,
common
I saw that surgery.
and widely recognized technique for gender affirming genital. Yeah, I never seen one of those surgeries done. Jackson, I never seen one of those surgeries done. That'll make me pass out watching that. Totally says also race is socioeconomic reality, like being an American is. Totally, my point was people argue and fight over race as if it's backed by science, and it's not. It's fake. Ellie Bear says, please don't talk about topics you're uninformed on. You're uneducated and are spreading misinformation. Please do your due diligence and look into real research. Ellie Bear, I don't need to do no research to know that a woman body and a man body is different. I think we all went to science class. We learned that in elementary. It ain't the same body. Okay. Ellie Bear, if you want to go down that delusional path, that is perfectly fine with me. I will not be joining you. It just ain't going to happen. It ain't up for debate. And that's the problem with the internet now. You've created arguments that ain't up for debate. We know it's two different bodies. And you would have to follow the conversation. The first question they ask is womanhood being tied to the biology of a woman? And they're saying how they have the same experience. If women are saying that, no, your experience does not sound like our experience and it's a different experience, it's a different experience. But see, this is the problem with a lot of y'all people. Y'all hear the truth when people are just trying to talk to you. And for some reason in your brain, you interpret it as hate. Or somebody's trying to put you down or beat up on you or something, which is crazy to me. If you are trans, you have a unique experience from everyone else. It is not the same. I don't know why you wouldn't own that and be proud of that. And Ellie Bear, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. You clearly have never spoken to a trans person to even try to understand them. LOL. That's funny. I actually used to work with trans people and people in the LGBTQ. Actually, my cousin is a trans woman. Oops, joke's on you, Ellie Bear. You don't know what you're talking about. Haha. And here's another thing that's funny to me. Y'all assume when y'all hear people talking that these are my talking points. These are not. A lot of the things I'm saying, I got from other trans people that I've talked to. But you never had those conversations. You look at the internet and people trying to push an agenda. I've had private conversations with people that tell you, look, dog, I was born a man.
Ouch. Ouch. That was a diabolical mic drop right there.
So yeah, that was people be like, oh, you haven't talked to these people. How the hell you know who I done talked to? I done worked with these people before. And I done had real conversations with them before. Everything that I'm saying right now, I've said to their face. Most of the things that they push on in the media, most of the people in that community don't even agree with it. But you have people on camera, on mic, speaking for these people. And Ellie Bear, you're either part of the problem or you haven't spoke to them people. I don't know who you are.
And one of the primary ways how you can tell they don't agree with it themselves is when they sleep with a man and the man doesn't accept them. The first thing they do is out that man as if he did something wrong.
I know. And like Tommy Sotomayor said, Rihanna would never expose you for sleeping with her. A woman wouldn't do that.
Exactly. So they know they're doing. They know they're down bad. They know they're wrong. They know they have a screw loose. They're looking for groups of people to justify what they're doing.
Um, man, RH, I ain't reading all them big words, man. Root beer.
Damn, today
It's too early
this is
in the
not the
damn morning. I just want to laugh at people and have fun.
this is not the education hour.
No, it's not. And a woman would not expose the man, not for the same reasons, man. Not for the same reasons. Did you catch that one with the I don't even want to say that person's name because I believe it's not live, but they recently had a trans woman expose this guy and say that they were sleeping together or talking to each other. During that conversation, that trans woman was calling that dude the F word, that derogatory word that they say we all can't. I don't even use that word, right? But that person was calling him a F word for sleeping with her. But if the trans woman feels like they're really a woman, why would they expose a guy and call them the F word? That makes no sense.
Right.
Because why would he be that if he's sleeping with a woman? That's the point.
Right. He should still be considered hetero.
Exactly. And they don't even consider them hetero. They expose them and call them gay. So they don't think that they're that. That's the point.
Trans, just in the same way, I'll never know what it's like to grow up and, have my first period or anything like that. None of you would ever know what it's like to grow up and know you're one way, but physically see it in another way. And then to live that,
And I guess I kind of want to direct my question back to you since this is kind of where this started. Is there any nuance for you? Because to me, entering in a conversation like with you, it's easier for me because you are allowing nuance. And it sounds to me as if you're not allowing that.
Why is that?
Your immediate response. I think it was really clear where you're at in comparison to Emily's. I think am I off by that?
I think you're off.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you that I don't understand your lived experience because I've never lived an experience as a man. Or
Yes. Oh man. Ragish, I appreciate you so very, very much. You are a phenomenal person because you knew I didn't want to read all them big words. And you said if they felt they were really a woman, then they would just be that. But they tend to do the stereotypical presentation. That was perfect. That was perfect. Well said. Well said. And all that mumbo jumbo and mumbling I was saying, and the fact that you was able to write that in one sentence, phenomenal. Damn. Let me see. All right, I'll pin that one. Cool. All right, but nah, that was beautifully said.
Living an experience
A
as a man
trans
friend.
person.
And I just want to be clear to everybody in this
Too
room
low vibration.
that I was invited here as a woman. So if we're going to engage in a conversation with each other, I would appreciate the respect of being talked to as a woman for this conversation. You don't have to agree, but I'm not going to be in here and being talked to that way because we were invited here all as women. Be
You were
clear.
actually invited here as a trans
Yes,
woman.
trans woman.
when
That's
you
called a
have to put-
distinguisher, friend.
When you put trans or another word in front of woman, it's not actually a real
Tall
woman.
It describes the woman.
Short woman?
It's an adjective.
You don't
It's an
have to do that for
Trans
a
woman
woman.
is a type of woman, and that goes under the whole umbrella of what womanhood.
You don't
It's
have
an
to.
Trans woman.
Hold on,
That's
let me
called
rewind
I'm
that.
not living an
A
experience as a
tra-
and
Here
it
we go.
sounds to me as if you're not allowing that.
Here
Why
we go.
is that?
Your immediate response, I think it was really clear where you're at in comparison to Emily's. I think it's, I mean, am I off
I
by
don't
that?
think you're off.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you that I don't understand your lived experience because I've never lived an experience as a man or
I'm not living an experience
a
as a man
trans
friend.
person.
And I just want to be clear to
Where did that woman lie? Why jump on her? She's being honest. I've never had your experience because I've never had to deal with, hey, I'm in this body and I got to transition to another one. That lady didn't say anything wrong, but they want to gang up on her. But this is the group that wants to be I think they're just
Accepted.
poor. I think they're poor representatives, and I'm not going to let them two give everyone else a bad name because the other two, if you look, these two on the end, they're kind of smirking and smiling. So they know what the truth is. And so I'm not gonna let these two, let me play it because the black one really says some offensive shit that was out of line.
And
to
I was
everybody in
expecting
this
the black one to say offensive things. I was expecting that.
I did because they're black. Huh.
Yeah.
You know what? We're black, so we can say that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Too low vibration.
that I was invited here as a woman. So if we're going to engage in a conversation with each other, I would appreciate the respect of being talked to as a woman for this conversation. You don't have to agree, but I'm not going to be in here and be
Oh, and Root Beer, my channel, I do a lot of stuff. It's not I haven't done anything on trans stuff in a while. I just go by the day or how I feel. My channel is Risky Behavior. I just talk about human behavior, conversations, debates. Usually I'm doing news reports on crimes against children and stuff like that. I just point out crazy human behavior, to be honest with you. So it'll be something else later on.
being talked to that way because we were invited here all as women. Be
You were
clear.
actually invited here as a trans
Yes,
woman.
trans woman.
when
That's
you
called a
have to put-
distinguisher, friend.
When you put trans or another word in front of woman, it's not actually a real
Tall
woman.
It
woman?
describes the woman.
Short woman?
It's an adjective.
You don't
It's an
have to do
adjective.
that for
Trans
a
woman
woman.
is a type of woman, and that goes under the whole umbrella of what womanhood is. But going back to the regular question, the whole question around biology.
And that's a lot. Black, white, Spanish, Hispanic, Latino, Indian, Native American. You can say these are types of women. Trans woman would be a type of male because it is describing the transition from male to female.
Yeah, you said it before I could.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah. Nah, you good. Nah, you good.
Just like if you say a trans man, it's actually a type of female because you see what I'm saying. So it's a lie.
Yeah. It's like they're just trying to say things to fit a narrative.
Yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. I keep pausing, but this is kind of like the hot point of the debate where there's a bunch of lies being thrown back and forth. My bad.
Like I said, you want to open up the conversation for nuances. So what do we say to women who have naturally higher testosterone levels, who look more natural, who look more masculine because of something that we call genetics? Because genetics is something that you cannot control. So do we take away a woman's womanhood because she's more masculine, because she's a tomboy? Or is she still a woman? Because like that could become a whole social construct around that. See,
but they.
I think what Stassi is saying is like you have to allow like nuance to be able to flow in to be able to understand that. Like just y'all being a conservative woman, I like to know what your definition of conservative is because is it more just political or is it because like you carry yourself a certain way? Do you dress a certain way? So I can understand a little bit more.
I would love to.
The name of the video is Conservative versus Trans Women. The channel name is Dr. Daff Show. Shout out to the Dr. Daff Show, Dr. DR dot then Daff DAF Show SHOW. And they do a lot of different conversations like this. If you like Jubilee, you're like the Daff Show. All right.
Jump in on the topic of what.
And shout out to Hannah in the chat. You're right. That's Blossom. And so you already know what I'm talking about. What Blossom is going to say. And Blossom is on. Blossom is the Black trans woman, and they have been on like Jubilee and a bunch of these different shows going around debating, making a name for themselves. So yeah, everybody know Blossom is crazy.
What is a conservative woman? For me, it is. Number one, my faith. My faith as a Christian informs every aspect of my life. And so that's going to be mainly where I'm leading through. Second is family. I think family is a really important thing to me and many conservatives. So when we talk about laws and society, many conservatives are concerned about what is going to affect the family unit. Third is tradition. Conservatives lean towards a more traditional vibe, if you will. So we're not so much about tearing apart the entire social constructs and ripping it all apart and starting new, because we value what generations before us have done and we find wisdom in that. And so it's like you're looking in a road and you see a big rock there, and some people may think like, okay, tear the rock out, build a fence, do all these things. But when you lean conservative, it's more like, okay, why is the rock there? Let's do a little bit more research behind that. Let's find out what the generations before us did about it. That's kind of where I lean. And so that's kind of what informs my conservative Christian attitude.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
And can I just mention one thing? Because you're conservative more leaning,
I wouldn't
right?
call myself conservative, but I would see myself as more kind of right leaning on some issues. Okay. The reason for that is just simply because of not even necessarily because of like LGBT issues, because I mean, I think it's pretty obvious my stance on that, but more so when it comes to just things like, gun rights. And I'm also pretty traditionalist, surprisingly, but, when I have like my husband, I want to just have my husband, have my kids, just have my family. And I believe, as a trans woman, it's my right to do that, to be like the motherly figure, go adopt my child and, raise my family how I want to raise them and, do all that. So yeah, I guess I'm, like I said, when it comes to the whole right versus left thing, I'm kind of in the middle, but, slightly right leaning on.
And I think you bring in a little bit more nuance, and that's what I can kind of respect, even though I may not agree with everything that you're saying, or even everything that you're saying, you're allowing nuance where I feel this prompt does not allow nuance at all, because I just feel it's so black and white sometimes in the way that things are said, specifically the way that you directed your comments. I just feel it's so like closed-minded, and like I can hear you. I can respect that. I'm having a harder time. I'm having just a little bit harder of a time with you.
Just to give her some slack, I 100% agree with what you're saying. And I think when we're having these conversations, I mean, I have in mind, okay, you are trans individuals. Your mindset through all of this is going to be from that mindset. So if I don't completely agree with what you're saying, duh, because we're on the opposite side of the spectrum. So if you're saying us, conservatives, some of us are Christian, you're going to see that we believe a certain way. We wouldn't come on an episode if we didn't believe strongly about that. So you gotta give a little in that situation.
I just want to also say that there are some trans women that are also Christian and that are.
And yeah, you definitely have to give grace. If you sign up for a show like this, you have to know you're going to hear things that you don't like.
I mean, 85% of the things you're going to hear is going to be something that you're not going to agree with or like.
Yeah.
At least 85%.
I want to say shout out to everybody in the building. If you could do me a favor, I don't ask for no money or anything. I ask for just a thumbs up, throw me in the algorithm, help your boy out. Don't treat me like that private browser, that porn history that you don't want nobody to see, man. Show me some love. Mhm. Peter said, "I'm sorry, you can't be trans and Christian." I was thinking that there's an argument there too as well. I think people are that is the nuance that people are talking about. We're going to take these things that have already been defined and we're just going to change them and shake them up and make them what we want them to be. But hey,
also conservative and liberal. I'm very much more liberal. And so I think a lot of what you name, what I think the point I want to make is a lot of that can be applied to trans women as well too. And so when we understand that our liberation is actually linked or whatnot, I feel like that these conversations can become a lot more fruitful. And that's the reason why I really asked about the whole conservative thing, because I think there's different levels to conservatism. Some are more radical. It doesn't look like y'all are that radical, thank goodness. But yeah, but for what you're giving today, in this moment right now, it's fine. It's fine. And so I think it's really important that we actually ask, what is the conservative woman? And understand that there's different types of trans women. I am probably one of the most liberal, loose trans women up here on this panel. And I'm proud of that, and so some of the same traditions and values that you have, I also have. And so that's what links us together. And so I think when we have conversations around biology and chromosomes and what's male, what's female, gender identity, all of these things or whatnot, I feel like sometimes it drifts us apart because we're not willing to listen to each other and look at the science and just understand that. And so I just wanted to bring it back to a place of unity.
Well, then I have a question for you. So we do get some more middle ground with each other. What do you think those shared values are?
So to me, womanhood is a social class. We are put in a hierarchy societal-wise in the way that we are objectified, the way we are sexualized in porn and on the streets by men, the way our government dictates what we can and cannot do to our bodies, the way the government withholds funding to research medical facilities and things for our bodies as well as biological women's bodies as well. There are many things that we overlap with. And when I look at all of you, I see the similarities before I see the differences, but I also see the struggle. I work in I don't want to say exactly what, but I work with women every single day and they tell me about the different things that happen to their body, where they have miscarriages or periods. And it is very hard to watch and listen to. And all I can do is support them and know that they have somebody to look up to.
exactly. All you can do is support because you can't relate.
I was getting ready to say something. Did you say that shit?
Oh no, go ahead.
I forgot what it was now. Wait, now I forgot what it was now.
Yeah. Hey, and Ragish, I hope I'm saying your name right. You said notice that the black one speaking the strongest for them, and it is right. We noticed, and it's going to backfire like crazy. It's going to backfire.
That's what it was. I want to touch on what the black one was talking about. That's what it was. She's talking all of that, trying to be friends and everything. And I didn't know. I never seen this video. I didn't know it was gonna backfire. So, not saying you spoiled it for me, but thank you, because I kind of figured that, because it's funny that she can make all those points that X, Y, and Z can bring them together and everything, but at the end of the day, bro, y'all are not together. Y'all are not friends. Like, y'all don't have all of this stuff in common because, bro, you're not a woman. At the end of the day, you're still not a woman. It still doesn't matter. None of that still doesn't matter. It's like she went down a laundry list of things that they could talk about and be friends about and have a cup of coffee at a brunch and have conversations about, but it's still not gonna matter at the end of the day.
I'm telling you.
It's like she bought up a bunch of. It's like she bought up a bunch of friendly things. A bunch of things we could be friends about, but you still rolled over my dog.
Yeah.
You still killed my goldfish. I'm still mad about this stuff.
This is insane. I don't see any relation so far.
Now, and she killed me when she said there's trans Christians. Like I'm not the most. I mean, I grew up in the church. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not the most Christian person in the world, But isn't it wrong to even be gay in the Bible? Like you can't be trans and Christian.
But you know what? And maybe I'll do a story about that some other time and stuff. But now, like I said, that's the nuance. That's the nuance where they want to change everything. So, well, actually, remember I did a video before about they have the drag queen preacher now. So they're changing things. So that's why they feel that way. Now whether God recognizes them or not, I don't think so. But man, it's getting crazy. It's to the point where nothing means anything anymore. Being a man don't mean
Yeah,
nothing no more. Being a woman don't mean nothing no more. And these things just don't matter no more. So, hey,
to that point.
it's crazy. All right.
So, I mean, you can think I'm a woman or not. It doesn't really matter to me, but I see the similarity and I see you as a sister to me. If I saw you on the street, I'm going to do whatever I can to protect you. And I would hope that you would do the same thing for me. So that's just where I am.
Absolutely. And I just want to offer you that space too, because I'm not trying to go in on you. Obviously, I guess I'm just curious. I'm just very
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. Hey, I think that's
By the
why
way, like you said, you do we are going to have severely different levels of conservatism.
Yeah, absolutely.
And religion, all these things are going to dictate the way we see things and respond to
100%.
things.
Hey friends, let's talk really quick about something that could seriously change your life if you were to ever get hurt. When you're seriously injured, whether it's a car accident, a slip, a fall, or something totally unexpected, your case could actually be worth millions. But here's the catch. Some insurance companies love to lowball you, like insultingly low. That's where Morgan & Morgan comes in. They are America's largest injury law firm with over 1,000 attorneys across all 50 states. And they've been fighting for regular people for over 30 years. This is not your average law firm. Just listen to this. They recently won yourself for
that thing was longer than I thought.
Formed.
Well, they forced you to watch that. God, no.
Trans women should be.
All right, so the second prop is trans women should be included in women's sports.
Oh Lord, here go my topic right here. This is my topic. Yes, sir. Let's go.
I pulled up some stuff too because I was like, to anybody who watches Jubilee, you appreciate Jubilee because when they're arguing and debating and going back and forth, Jubilee be putting up fact checks on the side. I don't think them people know that when they had Jubilee lying, that when Jubilee upload this video, they gonna fact check this shit out of you, and you're gonna be embarrassed when the video come out and the Jubilee fact check pops up on the side of your face, and it's like, yeah, you told a lie there, buddy. So,
yep.
I got some of those. I got some of those queued up and ready to go.
Let's roll it.
Included in
this is my topic.
Sports.
Yeah, well, you already know. Tell me when to pause.
I'm not too informed about this topic. I kind of just get my media from. I follow an independent page that is unbiased, but I do believe, going on the whole biological thing. When it comes to that, I believe that women and men in general, they do have different structures for their bodies. They have different ways of being able to build muscle, build up their bodies. And I just believe that women should have their own section. And I feel like possibly trans women and trans men should have their own section dedicated to them, because maybe that would also give them more of a spotlight as well.
Yeah, and I can respect that. I feel like there's just not enough of us. You know what I mean?
I'm a little bit I've debated this topic a lot. If you follow me and follow my platform, and I definitely want to respond to a lot of what you're saying. First of all, I would say trans women are women. They're not men. I understand what you're saying. You're probably talking about cis men and cis women. Bodies are different. I totally agree with that. I am a personal believer that trans women do not have a competitive edge. We have trans athletes like Leah Thomas who won 5th place in swimming. She didn't win 1st place. And the thing is, when it comes to trans athletes, their hormone levels have to be at a certain level to be able to participate.
Gotcha.
That's a damn lie. Leah Thomas built his career or name off of outswimming all of those girls on that swim team in that college. To the point to where the girls didn't even want to swim anymore. Leah Thomas was swimming so fast, he was damn near walking on the water like his name was Jesus Christ. No other girl wanted to compete anymore. They had to practically take him out of the water, out of the competitions. So for her to sit up there and say that she wasn't winning gold anymore, that's a lie. He was.
Now, well, the competitive advantages, YouTube, Stabworthy, they don't really go away. They're still present. And let me see. Okay. Right here. A look at the numbers and times, no denying the advantages of Leah Thomas. Okay. Now, where is it? Leah Thomas ranked in the mid 400s to 500s when competing in men's NCAA swimming, but after transitioning and joining the women's category, she rose to the very top of national rankings, even winning an NCAA Division I championship. This dramatic shift in placement has been central to debates about transgender athletes in competitive sports. To say that the advantage goes away, we should see a drop back down to the 400 or 500s or something like that.
See? So she's ill-informed. So she's speaking on something she doesn't know about.
It doesn't, right? Right here in this article, it says just how much of an advantage did Leah Thomas possess over biological females? The numbers paint a clear picture. The fact that the University of Pennsylvania swimmer soared from mid 500s ranking 554th in the 200 freestyle all division in men's competition to one of the top ranked swimmers in women's competition tells the story of unfairness which unfolded at the NCAA level. It don't get no clearer than that. How you suck and then get good all of a sudden? Come on, man.
Absolutely suck.
And it doesn't matter that you're going to have some women that are just that good that's going to be able to beat them. But that doesn't stop the fact that you jump the line by the hundreds.
Literally.
You all of a sudden became better than 300 other people all of a sudden.
That's an advantage. How come you're not at the same level as before? So come on, you can't lie about that.
And then not to mention, Leah Thomas completely, when I tell you completely towered over those girls, those female swimmers, towered over them with an arm span. I want to think probably 6 feet, maybe. I want to say towered over them, bro.
No, I'm telling you. I wanna I'm gonna go back to the video, y'all, but I wanna I don't want to keep having to share, unshare, and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go over to some of the things that's about to come up that they're gonna try to lie about, but I want to show it. Right? Let's see, share this. It's the UN study reveals transgender athletes have won nearly 900 medals in women's competitions. And
That's ridiculous.
Somebody tried to say, like, in this conversation, I'm just showing this right now, so I don't keep switching back and forth between tabs, and we can let the videos play because we've shown the evidence already. So we don't have to listen to people lie about things, right? 900 medals in women's competitions, right? UN says transgender athletes competing in women's athletic events have won nearly 900 medals over their competitors, according to the results of a study obtained by the National News Desk. Now, mind you, some people say, "Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It's not a lot of people." It is. When you're talking about women already, like, let's just be honest. When it comes to men and women, and I ain't the one that even take up for women like that, but when you're talking about when it comes to sports, women are hugely at a disadvantage. In a lot of ways, we don't support women's sports like we do male sports. We just don't, and we make jokes about it all the time. You find plenty of comedians, movies, and everything poking fun at this, right? When you have limited space, you can't afford to give any of it up. So that's 900 young women that did not get an award because of this unfair advantage. And it just is what it is. And they got it says here the 20-page document explains violence against women and girls in sports and claims more than 600 biological female athletes have lost at least 890 medals to transgender competitors. These defeats occurred in over 400 competitions in 29 sports, though authors did not specify specific events, levels of competition, or time periods. I will say this: I was watching some wrestling, and that trans woman was beating the shit out of that biological woman. That did not look fair at all to me, what I saw.
Because it's not. it's literally not. You'll never see Angel Reese in the NBA.
I'm telling you. But people
It's
think
not
that
fair.
they think the advantage goes away. It does not go away. It doesn't. If Leah Thomas goes right back down to the 300-400 rankings, then yeah, I believe you. It ain't gonna happen though. It's still an advantage. Oh my gosh. Let's see. And I just pulled up multiple ones just to show you it, multiple articles on it.
And this isn't a sexist statement, but on average, the male athlete is just bigger, stronger, and faster than a female athlete.
Yeah,
now a female athlete might be faster because she's smaller, but on average, a male athlete is just bigger, faster, and stronger. And you brought up wrestling, bruh. Ain't no a female wrestler is not about to beat a male. Come on, be for real. If he's able to just get up under her and body slam her, she's staying down. Like it's over.
Ragish says, frankly, I feel they have been attempting to take away our natural response of being repulsed. And I agree to that. So when you see things now, it doesn't even bother you. They want to take away your senses. When you say, "Oh, this is wrong. This feels uncomfortable," they just want you to not have those reactions anymore. I agree to that. But oh no, Prince, what you were saying? Remember, they have the professional women athletes, like adult women. They practice against like the high school boys.
Yeah, and more times than not, the high school boys take it easy on them. They can practice against the high school boys. Yeah, true. But the key word in that phrase is practice. When you
Yeah,
get
but
to a competition,
they be getting whooped by the boys.
exactly, they be getting whooped. When you get to that competition, that boy is more times likely to win. They're not going to beat that boy. You can practice against them, yeah, but you're not going to compete against them and win.
Telling you, these 29 trans athletes have won state, national, or international titles in women's sports. Okay. And my thing too is when you looking at sports and stuff too, I don't even think it's about winning an award. People don't realize it's still just being able to compete. Maybe you didn't win, but you still are out there competing.
Right.
You know, that they're still taking up a slot.
Right.
So
Nobody wants to see the Lakers with LeBron James compete against the Sparks. Like that's not a competition. Like it's going to be 200-30. Like that's not a competition at all.
Oh, tell me if you should hear the sound.
In the first place.
Yeah.
And a lot of the controversy with
I can hear it.
Okay. All right, you ready? Because it's got more to. We still got to watch Blossom blow up. Hold on.
Thomas.
Yeah, I'm ready for these lies.
With Riley Gaines, who I'm not too fond of myself, and this whole conversation around can trans women have this competitive edge? Absolutely not. It goes back to the conversation that some women have higher levels of natural testosterone than some trans women, and we do not always have the competitive edge over cis athletes. There are plenty of trans athletes out there. Now, there's not enough for us to be able to compete in
hold
our
on.
own
I think
sport. That trans women do not have a competitive edge. We have trans athletes like Leah Thomas who won 5th place in swimming. She didn't win 1st place. And the thing is, when it comes to trans athletes, their hormone levels have to be at a certain level to be able to participate in the first place. And a lot of the controversy with Leah Thomas was she tied in 5th place with Riley Gaines, who I'm not too fond of myself. And so it was this whole conversation around, can trans women have this competitive edge? Absolutely not. It goes back to the conversation that some women have higher levels of natural testosterone than some trans.
This person said, absolutely not, as if it can never happen. And that goes that I'm super liberal, meaning I just lie all the time. I'm showing to my delusion. I'm going to always just lie. Doesn't matter. Absolutely never advantage.
That's women. And we do not always have the competitive edge over cis athletes. There are plenty of trans athletes out there. Now, there's not enough for us to be able to compete in our own sports. So that's why it's important that trans women play with women in sports. Now, the reality of it is we don't give trans men this same slack and this same mouth like we do trans women, right? And so my question always becomes, why is that? Why do conservative
You there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I probably hit a little dead zone. The reason why trans men don't get the same shine or anything is because trans men ain't out here looking for attention. The women who want to be men, they just out here minding their business. They're not trying to. Trans men just out here living their lives. Put dildos on and live. That's it. They're not out here trying to join any type of. They're not out here trying to join the NBA. They're not out here trying to join the NFL. They're not out here trying
You breaking up a little bit.
trying to play in the NHL like that.
You breaking up a little bit. You hear me? Try to say something now.
Can you hear me clearly now?
Yeah. Oh, he dropped out. He'll be back. We watched the video. He'll jump back on.
Of women not give trans men the same flag that they give trans women in sports? I would love to know the answer to that question.
So for me, I grew up playing sports. Water polo was my thing. And even now, like I do martial arts, right? And so even in water polo, sometimes we would have to practice with the boys. And it was humbling to see the disparity between me as an 18-year-old girl, senior year on varsity, versus a 12 to 14-year-old boy. And that's not because I sucked. That's because they're growing muscles, and there's just, when it comes down to it, you can't fight that biology. And so when I see, the argument that trans individuals should participate in women's sports specifically, and to answer your question, why are trans women targeted so much, is because trans men are not going to be winning athletic competitions against biological men, right? Biological women are the ones.
I disagree with that. Patricio, what was Patricio's last name?
It is about
He's won
900
a couple of boxing matches against cis men. Patricio Emmanuel, I think that's his last name.
But that's few and far between, right? And so when we're thinking about somebody, especially after they've gone through puberty, they have the muscle mass of a biological man, they have the lung capacity of a biological man, they have the bone density of a biological man.
Everybody's size and everybody's body chemistry is actually different. You cannot actually measure the size of somebody's heart, somebody's lungs to be able to determine that. There are some cis women who have a higher agility than trans women, because again, Leah Thomas only got 5th place. These trans women are not getting first place across the board. And so I just want to make sure that we're not being intellectually dishonest about people's body chemistry. It is a case-by-case basis.
Why is this person lying? Like, do you realize that 5th place, that is still highly competitive? You still the shit. Out of everybody that's competing, you made it to number 5 is a big deal, especially when you're ranked in the 400 to 500s. But this person is just going to keep on freaking lying. That's all they do is lie, so you can't have an honest conversation with them. He's just going to keep lying. So what this person is saying is, in order for them to accept what you're saying, Leah Thomas got to make it the number 1. 5th ain't good enough. It's insane. What up, Prince?
All trans women.
Yeah, it was bro. I apologize. I hit a little dead zone. I'm in this truck with work, bro. My bad.
Oh, no, man. You good. And another thing, when they say about the trans man, it's very few of them even competing. And if men have a natural advantage over over biological women versus biological man, a trans man going in there is not going to be met with the same, this is unfair, right? It's just a different topic, a different reason, because sports is about being fair. You know, any of you got kids that do boxing, that do wrestling, it's about being fair. You got to make weight. You know what I mean? They try to keep it as fair as possible. Sports is about fair competition. Okay. And so
And
that's the argument.
It's almost as if trans men it's almost as if trans men are knowledgeable enough to realize that they're actually women, and they know that they can't compete with a biological male.
Yeah. I'm getting exhausted. I don't know how many more lives I can listen to.
All women are not made the same.
I would really love to hear the rest of what you were trying to say.
Yeah, so I just think when it comes down to it, we can say there's an outlier here and there, or there's an outlier where a transgender woman matches the hormone levels. But when we're looking at the averages of a group, a biological man is always going to beat out a biological woman. And so when we talk about, right, like feminism and everything, and like giving women opportunities.
But trans women does not start with biology. It's gender identity.
Just let me finish this one point. For like feminists, I don't know if you like proclaim yourself as feminists, but I would think that a big part of feminism is giving women opportunities. A big part of a lot of girls like me and friends that I have was getting scholarships in sports to go to college. That's how a lot of my friends were even able to go and pursue a degree. And so when they're being beat out, there's like 900 instances globally where trans women
Can
have
you show
beat
those
out
resources? I don't think so. And if your feminism does not include trans women, it's very problematic. I just want you to know that.
That's there's many instances where trans women have beat out
Please
biological
name a
women,
few.
and that's a sad.
I would love to. We would love to know those resources.
Well, you mentioned Leah Thomas. I know you said.
And we just recently showed those articles where we showed the 900 medals and awards taken away. They have articles on it. It's an easy lookup. And that's why I was showing those articles. Anybody didn't see it, feel free to rewind. But I showed it before this because I knew this part of the conversation was going up, and people are going to lie. They are just over on that side, just bold. Well, not all of them, but particularly these two bold-faced liars.
And if you don't want to rewind, you can easily go on Google and just type in Leah Thomas. Leah Thomas is actually the reason this entire debate actually got started online in regards to trans and sports.
Yep.
That Leah Thomas tied with Riley
She would have
Gaines.
got 438th if she was competing against other men.
So that's what we're talking about when we say like those opportunities are taken. And I'm sure you believe that Leah Thomas should be in there, but that's one spot
so what about
that could have been given to a
women that
biological
beat
woman.
Leah Thomas and Riley Gaines? So what about those women? They were cis women.
Oh, and I don't want to skip over the fact that Blossom, which is the Black trans woman, said that if your feminism does not include trans women, then what did he say is not respected? Did it not feminism? What was that?
Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah, that's what you said.
So you mean to tell me that feminism came out, right? And they said, man, we about to bang it out with these dudes. And we're gonna destroy patriarchy, man. Like fuck them, right? Gang,
yeah, basically.
And then one of them said, wait a minute, but we should also make space for the men who may want to become us. Oh yeah. Oh.
They were biological women. They were not, excuse me, I'm hold on. Let's not interrupt a Black trans woman when she's speaking. Leah Thomas got 5th place.
But you do interrupt.
I know, to her devil's advocate. You guys interrupted a million times.
So
when
much
the Black
more.
trans when the only black person is on set, when the only black person's on
What does
set,
that matter?
I think that we should prioritize the black voice here.
No,
So I'm
I
just
know,
saying.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
If you
And here we go, race bait. Here we go,
Wow.
race bait. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I knew it.
So, and even the other trans women up there. So what they just said is basically your experiences right there. Even other trans women experiences don't matter to that person, because it said prioritize my voice. So my experience, my voice, my opinion, my pain, my passion. We're gonna prioritize mine because I'm black. And even the other trans women should have said something, but they didn't because they're cowards and they're just going to go along with the delusion.
The other trans woman sitting there with her should actually be insulted.
They should, and they are, but they're going to keep their mouth shut because they're there to lie anyway. If their cause was righteous, they would stand up in this moment and do correction. They will correct nothing because they're not there to correct nothing, to be honest. They're liars. Oh, my bad, bro. You gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna say this was a very sad interview for the LGBT ABCDEFG community. Very, very sad interview. Debate. Sorry. Very, very sad debate.
Yeah, man. Wow. Said I'm black. Black voice tape.
we're all women and we're all equal, then
I don't
why
care.
then why would you be
Racist, but that's not fair.
black?
And then says, "Oh, we being racist today." What are you talking? You don't want to say something racist. You said a black.
The only one.
And then accuse them. They're saying, "Why are you cutting us off?" And you said, "Well, I can do it because I'm a black trans woman. My voice I take precedence. Prioritize me." And then
Well,
say,
no, hold on. She said she was the only black voice.
Insane. Hold on.
That's not interrupt a black trans woman when she's speaking. Riley Gaines. So what about those women? They were cis women. They were biological women. They were not. Excuse me. I'm. Hold on. Let's not interrupt a black trans woman when she's speaking.
Mind you, they've been interrupting the whole time. Okay.
Leah Thomas got fifth place.
But you do interrupt.
I know, Tiffany.
All the time.
Devil's advocate. You guys interrupted a million times.
So
when
much
the black
more.
trans, when the only black person is on set, when the only black person's on
What
set,
does that matter?
I think that we should prioritize the black voice
Look,
here.
no,
So I'm
I
just
know, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
If you say that we're all women and we're all equal, then
I don't
why
care.
then why would you
Racist, but that's not
be
fair.
black make you any different?
Yeah.
Oh, it makes me powerful. Wink, wink.
So the woman on the end says, I don't agree with that you should just, because you're black, get to over talk us, and that's what she's saying. The woman, she says, I don't agree with that, and then the trans woman goes, oh, so you're being racist. Like, what the fuck? This is ridiculous.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. That black card.
I'm just pure evil. I'm telling you, man. And you know what's so scary about it? In a way, all those women, though, because they've identified these women as conservative. In a way, they want to fight back, and they said something, and they go, "Oh man," but they really didn't say what they wanted to say. Because the sad thing is, they've been allowed to pull that race card so much. They're afraid. They could lose their job if they start a fight with that person and they say certain things. And they'll be just defending themselves, but it could look and be painted as if they are actually racist. And that's crazy to me. That they can't even defend themselves right then and there.
But that's why I say I saw it coming, because somebody like that would pull that race card, and it would make them feel powerful in the moment because, like you said, they can't say what they want to say. Now let somebody black would have been on that other side. Somebody black would have put her in her place.
But one of them could have identified as black and did it, right? Because we just identifying as things, right?
You know what? That would have been some diabolical mess right there. If somebody would have just, if somebody would have, if somebody would have checked her and said, "Well, I identify as black today." For the next 24 hours, I identify as black.
Look, we have overlapping experiences.
Yep. Yeah.
Aha. I cracked the code. All right.
Yep.
Mhm.
So I'll keep it short and sweet, but at the end of the day, I really believe in giving women as many opportunities as possible. And if you come from an athletic background, you know how hard young girls work all throughout their young adult lives to get to be in a Division I college athletic spot. And so when we have these opportunities torn from young women, whether it's first place or fifth place, it's a sad thing. And many of you self-proclaimed feminists, you know, you say that you stand for uplifting women, but at the end of the day, biologically, you are male. And so that is sad that you're taking that spot, or you're advocating for taking that
I
spot
would
away from a
appreciate
biological
the respect.
female.
The respect.
I
Here.
don't think they
What
know
did I
how to
say
give
wrong?
the
No,
respect.
well, some of them
What did I say
do.
wrong?
Some of them are being respectful.
You're a trans woman, you're biologically male. Is any of that wrong? Okay.
First of
So
all,
I feel like I've been respectful.
No, I again, trans women start with gender identity, not biology, because cis people, when it comes to that conversation, it's more about cis people matching with their biology. I just want to.
Yeah, but y'all talking about sports, you fucking idiot. Which is down to biology because that's how we do sports. We don't do sports based off, oh, just a social construct. No, we do sports. All of it matters. Height, weight, age, everything is how we do sports based off science. And so she's saying you're a biological male. And so that could give you an advantage in sports.
She's having a conversation about sports on her feelings. That's diabolical.
Something wrong with him. It's just this all or nothing attitude, and that's why I said the conversation can't be had and the bridge can't be built because there'll be no compromise when you have one side that just wants to lie the whole time. I've watched the other side, those conservative women, bend and go, oh, okay, I can allow that. Okay, I can see this, but the other side, no, they're on take.
I've never seen a debate go like this before. Like just completely one sided.
Let's see. Jackson saying August 2024, Texas no longer permits individuals to change their gender marker from male to female or female to male on state issue IDs and driver's licenses, except in cases of clerical error.
Boy, Texas is evil.
Let me see. I'm gonna play this real quick. I gotta take a restroom break.
Word.
All right, thumbs up the video, y'all. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Us to get past that. Stop reducing trans women down to biology.
Yeah.
This
I
makes no sense.
think,
That's what
I
makes
think
the
in this
conversation so rough.
topic of conversation, when you're talking about sports, it has a lot
I
to do
think
with
you're
biology.
absolutely incorrect, and that's the thing. I can sit here and show statistics to you all day long. Leah Thomas got 5th place. She did not get 1st place. There are 4 biological women that beat Leah Thomas and Riley Gaines. So your point is minute to me. I'm sorry, but please, one of y'all could go ahead and jump in there, please.
Okay, so I will say where I think you guys are gonna disagree with me on a little bit on this is where I definitely think there's a lot of sports trans women 100% can compete in that they don't have an advantage. Like I saw conservatives getting mad about a darts competition, and it's like, why are we getting mad about a trans woman in darts? You know, there's nothing that's going to give her an advantage. And it was unisex. It wasn't like anything. They were mad because her opponent was a woman, a cis woman, or sorry, you know, just for video terms. But so like I will say, I think this debate does get silly in some points. I think it does go too far in some points, but then I will agree that there is some sports where there definitely is an advantage. You know, like you said with Leah Thomas, before transition, she was 400th something, and then post transition, now she's 5th in women's, and there are women who definitely can beat her. And the problem with that is, as you said, we're going on an average sort of basis here, so we can't really let the outliers determine everything else. So I will, like I said, I think it can get a little silly when it comes to certain things, but I definitely see the point of biology mattering into some points. Like, I don't think and, you know, I'm sure some of the girls here could compete in like a men's league in any capacity. Like, I would literally get my ass whooped in men's and women's, but at the same time, we're also not every single trans woman. Like, you know, we are not the 4 monolith of trans women. So there's like, obviously for each one of us here, there's going to be like 100 behind us, and they're all different. And so going based on, you know, an outlier here, I don't really think that's necessarily the call.
I kind of just wanted to throw this in the middle, more so like a personal thing, like to kind of think about as well. I feel like what we also need to consider is like trans women that are on estrogen as well, because we're talking about hormones and everything. And I feel like when that is thought about, we also kind of need to include that. And if that makes sense.
Why?
100%.
Because hormones don't actually change the biology or the physical makeup.
That's not what we're saying. We're not even saying that.
Yeah, but she's saying that. And I'm saying that.
She isn't saying that. She's saying that the hormones affect our,
I'm just
and they
kind
do
of like
affect our
throwing it out
biology.
there.
No, I like really don't. I'm like, if there's very few hills I will ever die on, genuinely for me, and I will say this as respectful as I can, this is one. I'm sure besides you, I really am friends with these people. I work in the space with them. I am at Fox News where I'm watching little girls come in and they are competing. I have made a lot of anti-women content in the past, I will say. I try to be as pro-women as possible now. And this is the only hill, if anything, I will die on. I truly believe that sports need to always be separated to, at the end of the day, protect women. I cannot allow the 1% to take over the 99%. And that's it. I hope that came off as respectful as possible.
Hi, loves. It's me again, Dr. Michelle Daff. We've really been enjoying producing these meaningful conversations on the Dr. Daff Show. However, they are very costly to produce with our large team, equipment, audio, studio, and cast, and everything else that goes on behind the scenes. If you've been enjoying these thought-provoking conversations and want to support what we're doing here, I would love for you to check out my fragrance brand, Fine Forever. Fine Forever is more than just a fragrance brand. It is a celebration of faith, purpose, and beauty. Currently have 3 signature scents, each inspired by a unique Bible scripture, and has with its own story and meaning. First, we have 2911, inspired by the scripture Jeremiah 29:11. It is a delicate yet vibrant fragrance that combines lush florals with soft, sweet undertones. It is a celebration of gratitude and the blessings that unfolds when we walk in faith. Next is Silent Storm, inspired by Psalm 107, 28, and 29. It is a bold, captivating scent that balances strength and serenity.
Are they promoting biblical perfumes while having a trans conversation?
And purpose, even in life's storms. And lastly, we have Mustard Seed, inspired by Matthew 17:20. It is a fresh and uplifting fragrance inspired by faith and growth. It opens with bright citrus and soft florals, symbolizing the beauty of small beginnings and the incredible potential within. Every purchase directly supports this show and helps us to keep bringing you meaningful content. So if you're looking for a signature scent that not only smells amazing, but also carries a message of faith and empowerment, then you can visit fineforever.com and shop now. Your support means the world to me, and I truly believe that these fragrances will bless you as much as they've blessed me. The transgender movement is imposing its ideology on the younger generation.
Okay, so personally, I don't really think it's the transgender movement imposing its ideology on kids so much more as a lot of people who act on behalf of the transgender movement, trying to kind of do the whole, I guess, speak over us, speak for us. You know, we have a lot of people who will come up and say very weird, gross things to kids or about.
I almost forgot to unmute. I played that for a reason. You said they mixing God and the whole.
Yeah, man. There was advertising biblical perfumes while having a LGBT conversation.
It's like in their minds, they think they're gonna be in heaven. And you know, they trying to get in touch with human resources, customer service, whatever, up in heaven. They like, God, you see, you got me in the wrong spiritual body.
Man, all y'all had to do was promote the perfume. That's all y'all had to do. You did not have to put no scriptures. You did not have to do all of that. Just promote the perfume and shut up. That's all y'all had to do.
And Stank Hunt, that is a hilarious comment. I don't think I can put that up on the screen. Well, I can. F it, whatever. Put it for a second. Oh man, that is crazy.
Probably smell like blossom. Anyway.
Yeah, I caught that one. Ooh. Honestly, this has kind of been the only reasonable one that's been up there that's on the screen right now.
Yeah, clearly.
Out kids, and then you know they'll claim trans, but at the end of the day, like a lot of trans women really don't like hold, like, I don't know, we're not, how do I say it, perverted in that way. When someone talks about like a kid, like openly talks about like a kid's genitalia in a place full of kids, you know, and then they're talking about, oh, well, I'm representative of trans women. Well, no, you're not, because most trans women that I know, like none of you ladies would ever even think about doing something so disgusting. And so do I think it's the transgender movement imposing its ideology? No, because I also think at some point, you know, you can't force someone cis or trans, but I will say, I think you can, you know, make someone think something about themselves, you know, a young, impressionable kid. But at the end of the day, I really don't think that's on the trans movement. And I don't think you should judge all of trans people for that mistake, because similarly, back in the day, there was a lot of propaganda about gay men doing that. And we now completely agree, you know, gay men don't really do that. And you know, we're kind of sliding back on that a bit due to some cases. But I think it's kind of unfair to put the entire trans space onto that.
That's kind of untrue.
Even if, you know, I've said and I've protested about certain things like that. And
what are you saying? You think that's untrue?
Yeah, that's kind of untrue. You know, I follow a lot of predator hunters, and every other day they're catching a child predator of whom is male and gay, and he's looking for a little boy. So just because she doesn't know doesn't mean they're not out there.
I'm telling you, man. Oh goodness, it's insane.
Yeah, I follow a lot of predator hunters. I'm on predator poachers. I subscribe to their locals, and they catch them all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you shared it with me. So yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, they catch them dudes looking for little boys all the time.
What's it? Toilet water fragrance, perfume, poop. Oh. Yo, Jason been going crazy in the chat, man. Yo, dropping all kind of gems.
And I do agree about things like that. Still, I haven't changed my mind on that. However, I just don't think it's all of the trans community's fault. And I don't think trans people as a whole should be punished and suffer because of the actions of a few weirdo people who get
I just
blown
want
up.
to be accepted. Like, I just want to be like received the way that I've always meant to be received. I'm not here to like take anything away from you guys. Like, I I uplift. I love women.
Thank
I
you,
love
by the way, because I
keeping-
don't feel that from a lot of
I
gay
promise
men,
you,
trans, whatever it
a
is.
lot
I
of
feel
people
so much hate.
a lot of people. I mean, I've seen a couple of the stuff that you've done. I was a little hesitant when I first saw you. I was a little worried.
That's everyone. It's okay.
But I'm seeing the nuance a little bit. And what I wanted coming in here today was to be able to have a conversation about like trans women and conservative women, and hopefully we can find a middle ground somewhere. I want you guys to keep everything that you have and more. I want you guys to have all of your bodily autonomy, everything, all of that. I also want the right to mine. And just because you don't understand my experience doesn't mean that I should have it taken away or diminished because of the opposite side, I guess.
Can I just say that trans women just mind their own business? We literally are trying to live our lives each and every day, trying to survive in a world that wants to take us out. We're not trying to push ideologies on anyone. We're literally minding our own business. I think a lot of, and I'm not saying y'all do this, but I think a lot of conservative folks like to use propaganda against us to make it seem like we're pushing this narrative that we want little kids to transition and that we want to do this and want to do that. And that's not it. We're literally just trying to survive. And I think sometimes this rhetoric does put us against y'all. And I see past that for the most part. I don't see trans women as an ideology. We're real. We're right here in front of you. Whether you agree with our experience or not, we're here right here before you. And we are just trying to live our normal lives. So many rights are being taken away from us little by little. And I just want to make very clear, the same way transphobia affects me, it could affect each and every one of you too. When you go in the bathroom, somebody assumes that you're trans and you experience violence from men because of this whole narrative that has been put on trans women. Because there are some trans women who are just as passable as you all are, even more. And so I just want us to be made aware. Going back to what I said earlier, our liberation is tied. And I just want you to know, trans women like us, we're just minding our own business. We're not trying to push ideology on anything. And like you said, me trying to live my life should not take anything away from y'all.
They need to quit telling that damn lie about the whole passable was passable or not. I want to go back and find this comment because when he made the comment, it really stood out to me. Ragish son put, frankly, I feel they are attempting to take away our natural response of being repulsed. It is not that you have those that are passable, and they are so. It's probably a significant less than 1% of them. What we have done is we've made it normal to view these things, and so we don't react, right? So as this comment says, take away natural response of being repulsed. It's kind of like women and weave, right? You get used to seeing it so much to the point that they think that they're fooling you, that they feel like, oh, well, people actually think that I grew this out of my head. No, we don't. We're just used to seeing it to the point that we don't react to it. And so you have a lot of them that want to claim, oh, I'm passable. No, you're not. You're presentable, but you're not passable. And talking to you, listening to the tone of your voice, your mannerisms, your shoulders, your face, your chest, getting a good look at you, we know something is off. So quit lying, trying to do this whole passable thing. It's just not true. It's far more likely that we can tell the difference. We might not quite be able to put our finger on it, but you're kind of like, do you think that's a trans? You know, and so quit with all this this fake passable crap. It's just not true. Because the white one that's sitting next to the black trans, they would say that person is passable, they're presentable, but they're not passable. You can look at them and tell, like, you know.
Absolutely. You can look at all of them and tell, quite honestly, except the one that caught me by surprise. Like I say, I thought the one on the far end, like you had to correct me on that one. That all four of them was trans. I thought the one on the end was a woman that was defending them.
Yeah, but but the more they talk and you can see and looking at their jaw, you can kind of tell. You know, you might not be able to put your finger on it, but you kind of like something's off a little bit.
Watching the video with you, now I can tell now. But yeah, when it first came on and they were introducing themselves, that first one, I was like, yeah, it's a woman defending them. The next three after her, yeah, clearly dudes.
Yeah.
And you're living your life should not take anything away from me. And so I just think that getting to a place of nuance and understanding nuance is what helps us make the conversation better.
Place of nuance, yes. I think there's a middle ground for me. I mean, if you were to ask me my opinion on your lifestyle as a conservative Christian, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more on a certain side. But I think where the middle ground can be is on the topic of children. I feel it's very similar for many conservative Christians is the topic of children gender transitioning is just, tough. It's tough for me to swallow because for the research I've done and the things that I've seen, I think that there's no reason why if a child is expressing gender dysphoria, that we should not wait until they are of the age of consent, the same age that we use to vote, ages to get children that get tattoos, it's 21 to drink, something that's far more drastic, like changing your sex organs, like doing gender reassignment surgeries. I think we should wait.
Are you okay with the age 16, 17? Because that's usually the age.
Well, I'm just using those as examples for things that we allow children to do that are far less drastic than getting a gender reassignment surgery.
We agree on 18? Huh? Yeah.
I mean, 18
if we could agree on 18, I'd be happy.
18 is fine, but I think in some states it's 16 or 17. So I was wondering, like, is that okay compared? Because it's not like 7, 8, 9-year-olds. It's not that. It's more 16, 17.
Yeah, I was just about to say, actually, I feel like I offer a really unique perspective because I had expressed since I could speak that I was a girl. Again, I grew up in a very conservative household with two relatively conservative parents. I didn't know a single gay person. I didn't know a single trans person. In fact, some of that ideology was pushed against me. And I started transitioning medically when I was 24. So I waited a really long time. I expressed my gender identity through the things that I wore and like other secondary things in my appearance, but I waited to make that decision. And if I would have had the opportunity, it probably would have saved me from a lot of things like eating disorder treatments and self-harm and mental health crises. Because to be quite transparent with you guys, since I've come out as trans and I've owned my truth and I've started medically transitioning, everything's gone up. Every single thing. I mean, I've gotten more confident. I'm getting promotions at work. I have more of a drive and a desire to be a part of like a functioning society than I ever did before I was medically a woman. You know what I'm saying? So I just really want it to be expressed across the board that like, there are people like me and like Blossom and Scarlett and Chrissy that have our experiences as trans women, and it's genuine. It's something real that we went through, and like I wouldn't discount your guys' womanhood. I would just hope the same from y'all. I don't expect you to agree, but
can I speak on the whole like childhood thing? As someone who's kind of like not really for
that person is a liar to say that. I didn't expect y'all to agree, but you've been attacking people that didn't agree with you. So.
Or like kids transitioning. I think what my take on it is when it comes to the whole grooming thing, what a huge problem in the community is the fact that I will say I don't think people are called out enough when they do bad behavior. I'll say the gay men community, looping it back to that, they definitely were on top of that when that was a thing, when it was sort of a harsh word, but like pedophile, when a pedophile came out and everyone was like, that's a gay man, because he went after little boys, the gay men community were like, that he's not gay. Like he could live his whole life as a gay man. The second he does that, he is not gay. He is completely separate from us. And I will say, I think there is a bit of a more need to further it. But part of the reason why predators would even come here is the fact that I think a lot of kids can feel pushed away from their families or something. So they're looking for a community that will accept them, that will do this. And that doesn't mean you have to say like, oh, exactly, you're completely right on everything. This is the correct way. But I would say, if your kid came up to you and was like, hey, I'm feeling this sort of way, actually sit down. Why are you feeling that way? And actually talk and understand what it is, because you never know, maybe it's not, maybe it is, who knows? But as long as they know that you're there for them and that you're going to love them, then they're not going to seek that from anyone else, another adult, you know.
Yeah, I was 20 when I transitioned, but here's the thing though, and I just want to affirm a few things you were saying. I understand your uncomfortability because there's a lot of folks, I think, on both sides that are very uncomfortable. But, you know, I'm definitely for a trans child being able to get their gender affirming care because there is a whole process with it. Like, you have to have a medical evaluation. You do have to be a certain age anyways to be able to have surgeries or whatnot.
Surgery. I'm familiar with the process.
Yeah. Or, hold on. I'm glad that you are because there's a lot of folks that have not. And so the thing is, a trans child can just transition socially and not have anything medically done or just mentally or environmentally. And so I just want to also bring that to the space too, because I think sometimes people just think that trans kids are just having surgeries at young age, like 7, 8, 9. And I know on the conservative side, a lot of these conservative influencers have run off that propaganda. And I just want to say that's not necessarily what's happening. Like you have to, like the doctor has to approve that the child can go through this. Like the therapist, they have to see a therapist to make sure this is what you want.
I understand.
You have to talk to the parents. Like there's a
in
whole
best
process
case scenarios, you know, if you're going to do something as severe as that, I would hope that there was a therapist involved. I would hope that there's different medical counsel. When you say gender affirming care, at first it seemed like you were on board with not doing anything to a child until they're 18. Now I'm hearing gender affirming care, which to my understanding is hormone blockers, right? So you're giving hormone blockers to pause puberty, but then it's always usually, most of the time, it's followed up by giving like testosterone or estrogen, which we know has effects on the body, right? Puberty is the most important time for a young person, right? It's crazy. Everything is changing. When you're doing puberty blockers, you are doing real damage to a young adult.
They're reversible.
It is irreversible.
But to your point though,
Oh man, I want to point out two important comments. James Wiggins says, "How can you own the truth when you're living a lie?" That is an awesome point. And also we got what's that? M. Jaws and Wrath 23 says, the fact that we're having discussions of trans child is a problem. Yeah.
Right. Just that this sheer topic alone is problematic. When she brought up child, I believe it was Blossom that was just talking prior to the other lady talking, and bro, I was just sitting there shaking my head like, no, 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 God, no, all of this is just wrong. This brought me flashbacks to that story that me and you was talking about a while back, where the kid had the surgery and was in school and had to play with the surgically created vag and had to keep it moisturized before it sealed and closed.
Yep. And it was going into the bathroom.
Yeah.
4 hours to dilate.
Yeah. This don't gave me flashbacks, man. I was just sitting there shaking my head like, no, 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 no,
no. Yeah. He also put chemical castration, which is permanent. They also had a similar show that they did off this. I don't know. I don't remember if it was on Jubilee or not. I'm pretty sure any one of y'all can type this in, look this up on YouTube when you get a chance. I think it was it? Is it? Oh my God, detransition versus transition. And they were talking about, I mean, these are people that have been through this that say, like, hey, I was transitioned when I was young. You had someone over there talking about puberty blockers. You've had situations that even if you're going to transition later on in life, being put on puberty blockers is the wrong way to go because you don't grow down there. So when you get older, even if you want the surgery, you don't have enough to be converted.
Oh my God.
Seriously, look it up. Look it up. I didn't pre-pull it up. I don't want to spend too much time, but that's the thing. Just look it up and do your research. And you have people that are the victims of this, and this is affecting everyone. I did a story one time. A married couple
Indiana losing custody of their child. Why? Because they didn't affirm their gender. So it can even be used to take away parental rights. So yeah, man, it's a real thing that's going on. It's insane to me. And when he spoke about the chemical castration, what's crazy to me is that's also the same medicine that they give to pedophiles. It's supposed to take away their sex drive. So you're talking about giving that to children is just insane to me. And the fact that there's a conversation where people are just like totally against it and trying to find a way, a little bit of wiggle room to make it possible, it's crazy to me. My answer is just a flat out no. Just no, 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 no. I'm telling you. See, James Wiggins says, if you're born a male, you're a boy. If you're born female, you're a girl. America don't have anything better to do. Focus on reparations to the Black Americans that was destroyed by the government. Yeah, I don't think they're ever going to do that.
Yeah, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting that, bro. The best y'all can look forward to is some stimulus checks come tax time, bro. That's the best y'all can look forward to. Sorry.
I heard that they got some more coming, and I hope they do. But some people said it would. I don't even want to get into all that. Some people said if I do, I'm just going to buy some more stocks or something with it. But
I'm about to tell you.
He said, Joel said, Joel says, biologically the brain of a child doesn't even have the permanent social sexual brain circuits developed until after puberty. Are you saying neurochemical circuits? And then James Wiggins said, if you were a real woman, you wouldn't need the blockers. And Cool Beans said they want to sterilize children. That's what it sounds like. That's what it's, and that's what they're doing when they do that. But yeah, I don't think most people even know that chemical castration is exactly what they do to the pedophiles.
I just want to clarify.
And so it's just you're saying gender affirming care, but those are irreversible things, especially when they're done over spans of years. It affects things like fertility, bone density, and all those things. So
we also have to acknowledge that there are some cis children that are also on puberty blockers as well too, because of health risks. Because there's something called precocious puberty, where little kids are coming into puberty a lot faster, and so for health reasons they're also able to use those puberty blockers as well too. And so that's kind of what I mean about
the extended time that a child who is trans would. A child who is trans. Precocious puberty.
It just really depends, because we don't. But when I say gender affirming care, though, I'm not necessarily just talking about medicine. It could be therapy. It could be just having a support system. That could be a part of that as well, too. So it's a very broad and expanded thing. And I think what I was just trying to say was, it's not just about surgeries.
Yeah.
It's just not. And I think that's where I have to say, because like I said earlier, you have to be a certain age to even get the surgeries, but like having a social circle, having a lot of support, and having therapy is a part of that gender affirming care. I mean, I am pro, having a support system with the parents, with the child. And I've also heard that there's some trans kids that don't want to talk to their parents about it because it's not safe to. And I also want to bring that into the picture for the trans youth that can't talk to their parents, that don't feel supported. So yeah.
So in 2022, I ran for a school board. I'm in Orange County, California, and I extensively researched all of the curriculum. And I know that earlier in the conversation, you guys said that you don't push your ideologies onto anybody. You guys just want to live your lives. And I do respect that. But we do have to look at the fact that in the curriculum in public schools today, there is trans ideology and LGBTQ ideology that is pushed in the curriculum that is rooted in Marxism. And that's creating a lot of... No, I'm telling you.
Hilarious. Okay, girl.
So you haven't researched it then.
What is Marxism?
Yeah,
What is
please.
Marxism, honey?
Yeah, so it's creating this suicidal ideation in children. And if it's true,
I could argue
trans
this about
kids-
Christian values.
Yeah, trans kids are 35 to 50%
Do you know
more
why trans
likely.
kids are more likely to kill themselves?
That's what
Because you
I'm
deny
saying.
basic things to them. They can't even play sports with their friends, girl.
But is it they're
Hello?
committing suicide?
And actually, the studies show that even after the gender affirming care and all that, it doesn't lessen their self-harm or suicidal rates. So, yeah.
Because they can't play sports, or is it because they're trans? Having gender dysphoria.
How would you feel as a
already
child
putting
if
yourself-
people told if they told you every single day you were wrong and nothing about you is real? They constantly denied you spaces. You were not allowed to play in sports. Like these, have you ever met a trans child?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I have.
And-
I work with several.
Okay,
I've worked
that's
with
great.
50 plus children who are trans. And you know what they like to do? They like to play with their friends. They like to play kickball. They like to go swimming. They like to be children. If you met a trans child, you would not think anything about them being trans. It doesn't matter to them. They just
And the problem is they don't want to recognize it as a mental illness. So they have to find another way to say why they are harming themselves. You know, because the treatment is not stopping them. They still have a high rate of suicide. So the treatment is not helping them. But they don't want to recognize it as a mental illness. So they're going to say, oh, he did it because when you have kids and they can't play kickball. Like, get the hell out of here.
But that's how they mask it though. Because they still don't want to admit that what they're doing is wrong.
I'm telling you. Shout out to you, James. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Oh, man. I paused it at the right moment, didn't I? Look at that stupid look on his face.
Yeah, I caught that. I caught that.
Just like this is what I be saying, but you can't bridge the gap because you having dishonest conversations. You having dishonest conversations.
want to be children.
Well, I think about how it's sad that they've been told that their body they were born in is not enough. You know, a child might
Who
be born
told
with
them that?
Okay, so I'll finish my
Girl,
thought.
who said that?
Okay, so
I grew up in a rural area.
So you were a child, right? And you said that you were a girl. And I'm sure somewhere along the line, somebody or social media affirmed that and said to you,
Nobody
you're
affirmed
not
that for me. You're
Okay.
talking out of an experience that
At
you have.
some point.
Hey, babe, listen to me clear. Nobody affirmed that for me, I promise. Years and years and years and years of therapy and self-discovery and myself is what brought me to that. Promise.
Blair White is literally one of my favorite people. I'm not like, obviously, here's the thing.
I like Blair too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but at no point you can be like, you're anti anything. I live in West Hollywood, like be for real. I would go live in fucking Texas, okay? But it's like at the end of the day, we need to find some sort of common ground. My common ground would be like the one thing in WeHo I cannot stand is the flags. American flag represents all of us. It's all of us.
It does not. Not if you're black. Not if you're black.
Okay, so with the BS, yes. So that
Not
would
if
be
you're
my
black.
thing. Let's
Not if
cut
you're
that
black,
shit out.
honey.
American flag.
You don't live
I don't
the
like
black
seeing ugly
experience.
flags.
You
all
don't know
over
what you're
my
talking
town.
about.
Another.
Move on. Let's move on.
But also, I'm confused. You work with.
Why does this person think that because they black they speak for all black people? I so happen I like the American flag. What are you talking about? I don't want no other flag. As much as we given our history, as much as we fought, I'm flying that motherfucking flag. You better bet your ass. People died for me to do that. I'm flying that damn flag. I don't care what nobody think about that.
Playing that race card.
If our history is true, I'm flying that damn flag. We are. But I don't know what they're talking about because see, a person like this will complain about being in America. You go take this attitude to another country and see how they treat your ass.
but you're gonna sit here with all your freedom and liberties and complain about this country. Like that shit to me is ridiculous. I understand and I get the history and I get the things that we still have to overcome, but don't just sit there and lie and spit on the country that you live in that allows you to come on TV shows like this and spew your nonsense. Okay.
Exactly. It becomes one of those situations of, if you don't like it, just leave.
Yeah, like come on now. Don't be just a liar now. We this ain't even that conversation. Are there certain things when it comes to maybe the justice system and certain things like that we still have to overcome? Yes, true, but don't take it too far. Don't take it too far. Okay. Don't take it too far. What's up, M Joe, man? I appreciate you that. Appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate every time somebody like and sub, man. I just like to be on here and have these conversations and talk and hang out with people, man.
50
Let's move
trans
on.
children, isn't that like kind of crazy? There's all these trans children. That was not a thing when I was growing up.
It's always been a thing, honey. You're
They
just
come
so
from Idaho. They
dismissed.
come from Ohio. They come from Utah.
You're disconnected,
I'm the
honey.
most open one. I'm just saying that's kind of crazy to me that there's all these trans children
There's
because
not
I don't
that
believe in children
many.
being trans.
Openness now, you know.
And they all come to one area for fun to meet people like them.
No, that's good. I'm not even like
Conservative
putting
women
that
are an
down.
oxymoron to me. There's a lot
I
of
just think
y'all.
that's a lot. Is that not kind of crazy?
That's really not that much compared to billions of biological children who are comfortable with their gender.
Conservative women are an oxymoron.
Well, they should be.
The middle ground, I think we can at least come to some degree, is that actual medicalization on kids too young to be able to consent to something as serious as that is wrong.
Yeah.
I believe everyone should be addressed by their chosen pronouns.
All right, we got a new prompt. I believe everyone should be addressed by their chosen pronoun.
I don't know about that one.
If it fits, like I said, I'm reasonable. If it fits, if somebody robbed me and I got to describe them to the police, I'm gonna use whatever's gonna help them find them. But sometimes I don't think you know what to use. I just use a person name. Let's just use names.
Yeah, we can use names, and I can see your point. If you have to describe somebody, but see, I'm childish. I'm petty. So any opportunity I get, man, look, I ain't worrying about if you're trans or what. You're a dude. you're a trans man. Look, you're a woman. I ain't got time for all that.
All right. So they holding up the thumbs up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. So it's 4 thumbs up. 1, 2, 3, 4 thumbs down. So an even split. And one of the trans women said no to the chosen pronouns. And so you had to switch on both sides that occurred.
I don't really think that this is a debatable topic. I think that that's a basic bare minimum of how trans people should be treated. I don't really have anything to say. I just think that it's a bare minimum. And if it's that difficult for you to respect a trans person's pronouns, I think you should probably go do some internal work on yourself.
I just want to add, I agree with you completely.
Thank you.
If I feel like respect needs to be like just something, like just a common staple. Like we should not be fighting with each other so much. Like America, our first foundation is supposed to be respect. This is kind of off topic, but I rave. I believe in plur, peace, love, unity, respect. I have it tattooed on me. I believe everybody should just respect each other. And I feel like that's not a hard concept. It's simple, it's easy, and it
Did she
only
make that up?
difficult when it just
That's just her way of life, you know.
That's not even a word. Plur.
What? This the new world, dog. We need to make up our own words.
Like I could see if it was an acronym for an actual word, but that's an acronym for some junk she made up.
Hey man, I'm just learning, man. I'm just. Oh, well, you got some people that try to be overly like she strikes me as a person that just don't want to offend nobody. She don't want them people to attack her. That's all she's trying to do. She's trying to be peaceful and in the middle, and she's been doing that this whole conversation. So it don't shock me.
Well, they should have replaced her behind with me. I would have been up there.
They would never let you on one of these shows, bro. They turn your damn mic off. You will be exported from the premises, man, and don't come back. They like, do not come back. I can see the whole camera production, everything is shut down. They be like, sir, if you follow us outside. What? I came here to
yes, sir.
We don't. Your service is no longer required.
Yeah, you're banned.
Yeah, you get kicked off.
Damn. Damn.
I would love it, man. You should sign up and see if you can get on to see how much you can get off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you should try. I might do it one day, to be honest with you. I might. That'd be a goal that I set for myself to like go on one of these panels. I really love Jubilee though. So I'm gonna test it out on one of the other small channels that I don't really like. Because I wouldn't want to mess up, because I do like Jubilee. But I think Jubilee, you get away with more. You could get away with on Jubilee. Some of these other channels, I don't think you would. Jubilee, you get kind of, as long as you witty with it and you can, you know what I mean? And it's not just too direct, but it's witty and stuff, you can get away with it. Because Jubilee, those be some heavy hitters up there. They kind of talk to each other differently.
Yeah, Jubilee be having YouTubers to jump on.
Yeah. Jubilee got a little bit more. You can get away with a little bit more on Jubilee.
Yeah.
Just trying to think. It only becomes difficult
when politics get in the way. Like when politics get in the way.
I don't think so.
Yes.
I think it's a matter of politeness, and politeness is personal. Like, I'm getting to know you guys now and gaining a respect for you coming on the show and sharing how you feel, and that's personal. So I would like to be polite and speak to you and address you how you'd like to be, addressed. But I feel like compelled speech, where we have to address any trans person by their pronouns that we don't know, is government overreach. So I think there has to be that personal relationship and not a forced speech. I don't think we should be forced to call any trans person by their pronouns, because there are so many. I think right now we're at 72 or 73 different genders. There are some that I read that's spelled ZE or XA, and do people even know what those are? How can everyone keep track
Why
of
do
all
we
of
need
them?
to know though? Like, if you came up to me and said, "Can you call me Sock?" Work. I will gladly call you Sock if it makes you happy. And I'm going to be honest, like, I don't even really care if you wanted to call me he, him. I'm very secure with who I am. I'm very secure with who I surround myself with. And I believe it's your right to say whatever you want, sure. And I believe it's your right to deal with the consequences that come with saying whatever you want. That's completely fine. I just think the topic is really weird to go out of your way to make somebody feel upset or sad about themselves when they're just being like, "Can you please call me this thing?"
That's not what I said.
Wait, I don't believe in going out of your way to disrespect people, but I'm sorry if I see Millie Tino, that is a man. I'm calling him a man. That is, by the way, the worst representation of trans people. He is a legally I can't say,
I
but
don't-
starts with a
I
he
don't
in my
agree with
mind.
her.
But that is a dude, and I'm calling it
If
he,
you feel
him.
like if you feel like that she is I'm going to say she. If you feel like she's the worst trans person, that's your opinion.
Yeah,
but the reality
for
of it is, you learn pronouns when you were in first grade English class. You use pronouns every single day.
I only
It's
know
not, to
she
your
and
point.
he.
But here's
I
the
didn't
thing.
learn Caesar.
Yeah,
But here's the thing, to your point though, because I think you bring up an interesting point about the expansiveness of pronouns, right? But the reality of it is, there's different types. There's the subject pronouns, the object pronouns, the possessive pronouns, the interrogative pronouns. Like, you use yours and mines each and every day. And so what I'm saying is, I agree with those that say that they just want basic respect. And it seems like you have the respect. You're there. So I think with me, it's kind of confusing, because you sit here and you just told us that you want to be polite and address us the way we want to. That's what trans people just want you to do.
And I don't think we're talking about government override. I think we're talking about like kind of what you said, honestly, like personal politeness.
Or in the workplace, you know, I don't want to be forced to call somebody something absolutely ridiculous. You know, it's like, I think we should just keep the two. He and she.
But that's not your
him
choice.
and her.
That's really not really your choice.
Well, it's just,
I hear you.
It's not
I
your
really
choice
hear
either,
you.
though, to change the entire trajectory
That's not what
of
I'm doing,
male and
though.
female for the. Yeah. So, I mean, you just said like you're not allowed to change that, but the trans movement, the entire thing is trying to change what has been for thousands of years. And at the end of the day, I mean, I have my beliefs. I don't think we should have to change all of society for a supposed 1% of the population. And I believe that for many other things. I have my own trials and tribulations, but I don't think the world should have to cater to me just because of my specific niche issues. You know what I mean?
But you should be respected for your pronouns.
Absolutely.
You deserve respect.
I don't think I've used any wrong pronouns here today. But I don't think I should have to. I think if I were to use the pronouns that you don't want me to use, then you know what? Tough. Like,
no, you get to reap the consequences of that.
But what are the consequences?
That part.
Wait. This is extremely important. If she calls you he, him, what are the consequences? Because to me, that sounds like that sounds like a threat.
It does sound like a threat.
That is a threat. Because what are the consequences? Beat up, jailed, fined. What?
An argument. That's it.
Yeah,
it's an argument. That's the consequences.
I've heard in some places they can sue under certain circumstances. Not in this country. I think, what is that? Canada? Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to spread misinformation, but I heard it's like that some places, but I don't think they have like what we would call freedom of speech.
No, I think they can only sue you like if you're in the workplace or something like that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, due to the Constitution and freedom of speech, they can't like if you're walking up the street or something like that, you know, they can't sue anybody if they don't address you by your pronouns, something like that. But like if you're in the workplace, yeah, they can probably sue you at that point. But no, they can't. You know, I mean, everybody don't have to address you by your pronouns.
But for me, that's the only time I think it's important. You know, if I agree with him. If we're at work, to be professional, I just think you keep it professional, right? You know,
yes.
Outside of that, I think is what people are thinking, like, got an issue with it. It's like, in my own personal life, I'm at the store, I'm in my personal world, leave me alone, right?
Right,
if we're at work, however, then of course you got to be respectful to everyone. And it's just a healthy work environment. You know, just, hey, when you're at work, this is how this person's dressed, you're at work. I'm cool with that. I'm fine. I wouldn't push back on that.
Correct. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, 100%.
That's an issue if it's a threat.
Well, here's the thing, though. Let's address that. It's not necessarily a threat, but there are consequences for your actions. So if you were to do that in the workplace, if you were to misgender me, that would be considered transphobia, and that is against company policy. 100%. And so little stuff like that, whether you agree with that or not, little stuff like that matters. So when she was saying that, it doesn't mean a threat. No. It means that in certain situations,
that's not
there to be consequences.
No, I mean, like, I don't have to engage.
Where your side.
No, thank you for clarifying that.
No, for sure.
Thank you for clarifying that. As a woman, the first thing I think, being on guard all the time, is like, oh, you're now threatening my safety as a woman, and that would freak me out.
Yeah, no, I can hear you.
So
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, I was the only person who did the downvote. I actually think I agree much more with you than anyone here. For example, if someone comes up to me and they tell me, refer to me as sock, I'm gonna, be like internally, okay, whatever. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be like, yeah, sure, why not, sock. But at the end of the day, I don't think it should be, as you said, legally allowed. But like I know some people, I'm in group chats, like I had in group chats with guys, and like let's say 5 of them are like, oh, you're pretty. Then they know I'm a guy, and then they're like, oh, you're a fucking, you're a dude, he, him, whatever. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. You guys are gay. Who cares? And then it's like everyone else in there is like, oh, she, her, whatever. So then I can just ignore the people who are like he, him, whatever.
Yo, what's up to my brother, Mr. Marcus, in the building? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Wow, what up, bro? What's up?
Or like, okay, you guys are doing that intentionally. You're going to call me one thing, and then as soon as you find out I'm trans, you're going to completely back on it, and then, go back to he, him. Like, I think that's a little ridiculous and silly. But at the end of the day, it's just like, whatever, as she said, I'm secure in myself enough to not really care. And when it comes to the whole consequence thing, I just think it really matters on intent. I think if you're intentionally going out of your way to try to hurt someone and to try to bully someone, then yeah, I do think that there is going to be a little bit of consequences, not necessary. But like if you come up to someone, like let's say I'm at work and then someone comes up to me, accidentally thinks I'm a guy, I'm not going to be like, oh, HR, come fire this person. Yeah. So like, that's just my take on it.
I kind of feel like you guys would, though. I feel like you would.
No.
So real.
No.
Yeah, come on.
Well, there are people that are trying. Well, that's the thing. People try.
I feel like you're waiting for
but
it.
When a trans woman can tell when somebody is genuinely trying. If you're genuinely trying to learn and trying to grow, I'm not going to penalize you for that. But I think it's when it comes to being malicious. That's the problem.
Yeah, I work in customer service. So I mean, I work with people every single day. So it does happen, I think it's about intent. And I think that's a really good place to kind of bring that is like, if I know somebody just is like confused, there's been plenty of situations. Like I'm earlier in my transition, I am going to offer grace and I'm going to offer space. Now, I bring nuance. Like if it's intentional, you can often see, especially if you correct somebody, which I'm going to be so honest, I normally won't. Like I'm not going to be, I don't care. Like I just feel we should be respected where we're at. And going kind of back to what I said about the consequences, I really did just mean I don't have to engage with you. Like
it sounded like you wanted to meet her outside.
No, that's how it sounded to me, and that's why I was like, that's an issue.
Yeah.
And that's why I clarified it. I clarified it.
No, I just don't. I wouldn't engage with you. Yeah. Is if I was met there, Can
I just say too, I mean, obviously you're not going to agree. I do not believe in protected speech for everybody. I do not believe in hate speech. I don't believe in any of that. It's either no speech to me or all speech. So for me, the fact that I could be working with a trans woman, and if this guy was like, hey baby or whatever to me, like women have been through hell in the workplace since like the dawn of time. I think of my personal experience. So it's like the fact that I could accidentally misgender someone and then they could go to HR and I could lose my job as a woman to me is so crazy. Yeah, so legally I couldn't get behind that.
Yeah. And to me, I do agree. I think that, like I said, if it is an accident, then yeah, that's wrong. But I think if you're maliciously, and there's, like she said, you can tell when someone's kind of being malicious about it, even if you don't correct them, sometimes the people stare at you and then they'll say it, or I work in customer service too. I worked Deltaco shift manager at one point. And, I had some woman come up and screaming in my face. This was during COVID era. Calling me I can't tell if you're a fucking man or a woman or this, that, because my voice is the way it is. My voice is T, and but when I have my hair fully back, I'm giving forehead. So obviously it's going to be.
Can I point out I get called trans 5,000 times a day?
I can believe it.
No,
and the same way, the same way you said that
literally 5,000. Go to my comment section.
And the same way that you said women's safety, it's also trans women's safety too. Men do approach us and may not always know the tea, and so we also experience that same harassment that you do experience as well too. You know what I mean?
I just want us to be equally protected. I don't want someone to have extra benefits. That's all I mean. If I'm getting harassed, you're getting harassed. I want it dealt with HR the same way. I don't want to be wait.
If someone's coming up and calling me a fucking man predator, stay out, then you want to be taken serious.
Denying trans people.
That was getting irritating. This blossom line as the men are approaching us too. Prompt 5: denying trans people health care is a human rights violation.
What?
That's the next prompt.
What doctors out here denying trans? What?
I don't know. We gotta see what the argument is. I guess I don't know.
I would love to hear this one. I gotta hear this.
People healthcare is a human rights violation.
Oh, interesting.
Now I'm curious.
I don't think that anybody should be denied health care. I don't think that the health care between men and women are the same, or cis women, trans women. It's between men and women. Everyone should have the opportunity to get healthcare. I don't feel like it should be subsidized for trans people. I don't feel like in the military they're paying for sex change operations and gender affirming care. I don't believe that should be the case at all. But if it's the same type of healthcare that we all need, like we get the flu, we break our arm, we need glasses. I don't feel like anybody should be discriminated for basic human rights. We all deserve basic human rights, but I don't think that one side deserves more or special care than any of the other.
Can I ask for clarification?
Yeah, what would you like clarified? Which part?
So it's because I was on board, but I see kind of what you're doing, like dancing around gender healthcare. And for me, that is a life-saving healthcare. And that's not up to opinion, really. That's my personal experience with it. So you believe that we should be where I think the prompt is more directed into like, should trans people have access to trans healthcare?
Like, should you be allowed to transition, things like that. And on that note, you brought the military. That's why I thought it was very silly when people were like, oh, well, we shouldn't allow it because it's so expensive, it's draining our money. Well, let's put in this perspective. Trans healthcare, when it comes to government insurance, makes up about, I think, $13 million versus Viagra getting sent to soldiers makes up $44 million. And I think as long as you're talking about helping soldiers get erections overseas, the idea that a trans woman shouldn't be allowed to have HRT because of that to cut spending, maybe if we cut down on like a million other things that are being completely overshadowed on, then I wouldn't be open to it, but I'd understand it a bit more. But as long as we're still, like I said, as long as we're still funding Viagra and at 4 times the rate that we're funding transitional care, then I think the topic is silly.
What's the difference between women getting birth control, right? Being able to access birth control, and me as a trans woman being able to afford gender affirming care?
That is completely different. Getting the birth control pill versus a surgery.
But that's not what I'm talking about. We're not talking about surgery.
What are you talking about then?
Like hormone pills, birth control. Why is it you can have yours, but I can't have mine?
Because I'm actually a woman.
That means nothing.
I am. And I
I'm a
actually
trans
have
woman.
a period, and I can
I'm a
give
trans
birth,
woman,
and
and
I
I also
have a
have
period.
health.
You asked for it. Shots fired.
Times the rate that we're funding transitional care, then I think the topic is silly.
What's the difference between women getting birth control, right? Being able to access birth control, and me as a trans woman being able to afford gender affirming care?
That is
Hormone replacement
completely different. Getting the birth control pill versus a surgery.
But it's not. That's not what I'm talking about. We're not talking about surgery.
What are you talking about then?
Hormone pills, birth control. Why is it you can have yours, but I can't have mine?
Because I'm actually a woman.
That means nothing. That means nothing.
I am, and I actually
I'm a trans woman.
a period,
And here's
and
the
I
thing,
can
I'm a
give
trans woman,
birth, and I
also have
period.
healthcare needs. I don't need to have a period. I don't need to have a period to experience the things that I experience as a trans woman. Here's the thing: we get blood clots just like cis women do. We get heart attacks just like cis women do.
And that's a human healthcare
We get other things, but here's the thing,
that's
though.
Not
but we're
a trans
all connected.
Healthcare thing.
That is also a trans healthcare thing. It's inclusive.
It's a
of
human
trans
healthcare
people.
thing.
It is inclusive of.
Oh, also, I wanted to say something because that person said that, they're funding Viagra. No, they are treating men who have erectile dysfunction. And for some reason, we laugh at male healthcare. Okay. If those men have erectile dysfunction, it should be treated. That is their organ that is not working.
Yeah.
But people just love to throw it around the word Viagra, 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 Viagra. And it's like trying to, cause I don't know, there's a bad stigma around that word, that medicine, as they just try to say, no, they're treating ED, and man, you go to a urologist and you get it treated. Okay. because you have a sex organ that is not working. Okay. And you get a medicine to make it work.
And like I said, and like I typed in the chat, if your insurance doesn't cover it and you can't afford it, then you're screwed then. So what's discriminatory about that?
Exactly. Because we don't need any. What people don't realize is, and a lot of men don't understand this, is that our organ is covered under our insurance. Whatever it is, it's a lot of surgeries that man can get for that. So,
And
but
then she mentioned,
they just say Viagra, like it's just. But now, go ahead.
no, she also mentioned blood clots. Blood clots is something that naturally happens in everyone's body. So what trans person is being denied healthcare because of blood clots?
They just make up things.
Like if a doctor is denying you healthcare and you have a blood clot, that's a lawsuit.
Yeah, but they're saying that they're just getting denied everything.
So therefore, we should have multi-millionaire trans people if that's the case. Like we should have malpractice lawsuits all over the place if that's the case.
I'm gonna be looking that up too. Hold on. Well, I'm gonna let this play while I do, but yeah.
Yeah, look that up. Malpractice lawsuits against trans. Look that up. We should have a plethora of Google Google sites. We should have a plethora of results that come up for this.
All right.
Of trans people. That is what I'm trying to get you to understand.
It's not exclusive.
It is inclusive.
If we all have heart
but it's
attacks and we
expansive
all
and it's
have blood
inclusive.
clots,
But
how
the
is that
thing is, though,
exclusive to
I
trans
should
women?
be able to get access to care as a trans person, and you have no right
That's
to tell me
elective.
that I do not deserve to.
It's elective.
It doesn't matter. Well, women get boob jobs too, and it's elective.
But
so
are
it's
we
the
paying for
same
people's boob jobs?
thing.
I do not believe in universal health care. I do not believe birth control should be given out under health care. I think it's terrible for women and young girls. They should be educated naturally on their bodies. I think that is for the government to literally make us sick and kill us. I do not believe a dollar should go to anything trans or transitioning. I'm so sorry. Women get cancer, lose their breasts, all these things. Children have cancer. I would give that money to anything in the world. That is a choice. I cannot put a dollar towards that.
So
That's all.
Can I, what's it called? Just like kind of talk on that. So when it comes to the whole, talking about cancer and everything like that, I will definitely agree. Like, those are extremely major issues. But so is like transitional care. Like as earlier, when we talked about the trans sports thing, we talked about averages, and you can say that, oh, there's still a high suicide rate, whatever, but the average trans person is going to be happier post transition. And I will say, maybe they're
Only for a short time.
Hold on. Sorry, love. I'm sorry that came off rude, but I will say there's definitely some people who, maybe transition isn't the best way, so then it goes wrong. And then, being trans, there is a lot of things with it. Gender dysphoria is such a bitch. But also at the same time, some people, like me, for example, I lived my whole life, and just like she said, ever since I was like born, like ever since I was like 3, I got in trouble at school because I would tell kids that I was a girl and that my, it's fake, and that my parents wanted a boy. And so it is a life-changing thing, and it is a medical issue. And living my life through dysphoria, I can sit and talk to somebody, and there's been so many different ways. It's not like transition was the first thing that everyone jumped on and was like, yeah, this is the way you treat it. There was therapies, there was even sometimes loading trans women full of testosterone to see if that would fix the issue. And a lot of the times these don't fix the issue, and while things could fix it for one party, maybe it won't. And I'm not, going to say anything personal, but let's just say, we rewind time 10 years, me and Blossom are the same age, and, she has really bad dysphoria, and, we both have what we think is dysphoria. Well, let's say transition works perfectly for Blossom.
I looked it up. They're saying that the most common would be the discrimination lawsuits, which is honestly where their conversation is centering around. They feel that the existing laws discriminates against them because they're not being included. And I think they're going to bring it up in this conversation. If you go along with the gender affirming care, where does that start and where does it end, right? Because if you are a woman walking around flat chested, right? Let's talk about this. If you're walking around a woman without certain body types, right? My grandmother is a woman who had survived breast cancer and had to take one of her breasts off. And there are other women that have gone through that, and you have women with all kind of body types. What I'm saying is, at that point in time, are we then going to allow any woman that feels like her body is not affirming her gender? She gets free breast implants, she gets free BBLs, right?
Absolutely not.
Right.
I
But
mean, the insurance will cover the augmentations after the breast cancer, correct?
say that one more time.
The insurance will cover the breast augmentation after the breast cancer surgery, correct? Not just anybody wanting implants.
Let me see.
I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I have a friend of mine who just recently went through that.
Yeah, it says that was yes, most health insurance plans cover mastectomies are required by federal law, the Women's Health and Cancer Rights Act of 1998.
Yeah,
So it seems like
exactly.
that was just recently for the women, just for them, and that's somebody after going through cancer. But what I'm saying is, what they're doing would open up another can of worms that even outside of cancer, if you're having gender affirming surgery, that could literally be for anybody. Even as a guy, you say, hey man, I don't feel like a man. I want a bigger penis. That's gender
You gotta
affirming care.
Exactly. You got to pay for that out of pocket.
But here's the problem. I would agree with them, but because they took away the fact that this thing that they're going through, they don't want to call it a mental illness or delusion. So therefore, where would we put it at to justify you getting a free surgery? You shot yourself in the foot.
Pretty much.
If you're not going to say it's an illness, a disease, mental illness, whatever, where do we put it? Because you can say cancer and all these other things that would justify this, but you're saying it's not something, but then you want the benefits that people get when they have illnesses, when they have sickness.
But check this out. Even if it was an illness, even if it was a sickness, if that was something that they wanted, they would need somebody to sign off on it, right?
Yeah. But it's not a mental illness.
Yeah, it's not a mental illness. So either way, whether it was an illness, they would need to be in somebody's care, and that person would have to sign off on it. But since it's not a mental illness, they can't get it at all. So either way, they're screwed.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go back to the drawing board on that.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it does improve her life. She's suicidal before, and now she's happy, she's vibrant, and she's living her life, and she's actually able to do it. But then let's look at me, and then let's say, oh well, let's say maybe transition was wrong for her or him, whatever. And then I wouldn't say use me as the example of why I shouldn't be allowed for her. So
there you go. Wait, but I get the two different scenarios. I'm literally just saying I do not believe in us paying for it because we don't agree for it. So I would just say not $1 to that.
But
And I would say not $1 to all the other
But I
things
also
as well.
agree that we need more to allocate certain spending, not on transitional care, but we definitely do need to reallocate government spending on more important things. Like you said, there's I think it's kind of
a kid with cancer.
Yeah, and I think it's ridiculous that we don't
I don't agree
allow
with you, but I can appreciate you being an equal opportunist.
Yeah.
I don't Like, I think in a world where we don't pay for skin grafts for severe burn victims, like we definitely need to open that up when we shouldn't be, bring it back to the Viagra point again. We shouldn't be paying for soldiers to be able to get erections when we have people in the US who are dying. We have people in the US who, like I said, they
Listen to this fucking idiot. Look how they so if you're gonna be so cavalier and just so we shouldn't be paying for soldiers to get erections. Okay, we shouldn't be paying for men to get titties then. How about that? Because we're not
I
paying
feel
for
this.
soldiers to get erections. We're paying for men who have a sex organ that is not working.
Right.
Are we skipping
Exactly.
over that? That is very important that a person's sex organ works. It's their sex organ, just like women have their sex organ, and their insurance covers their sex organs. Our insurance covers our sex
Ours.
organs.
Right.
Silly. And they make you like it's crazy. It's just like, oh my goodness. It's
I
a
feel,
man goes to a urologist and everything. And like, what are they talking about? As a matter of fact, you still got to go to a urologist. Dun 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 dun.
hey, I'm supposed to be the petty one here, sir.
What are you talking about here? What are you talking about? You got the same sex organ.
We go to the same doctor.
What they watch this light bulb moment. What you're saying is you want women's insurance because you have insurance that covers your biology. But you want the medical field to recognize your biology as another biology, and you want that biology's insurance. You have insurance that covers your body, sir, ma'am, whatever you prefer. You
So
have
basically,
insurance that covers it.
So basically, they're trying to double dip. They want to be able to. They want to be able to dabble in our insurance to be able to take care of their biological being, but they want to be able to dip into the women's insurance and be able to, I guess, fickle.
Yes.
And pick and choose what they want out the women's insurance
as a man
and get taken care of that way as a man as well.
Yes.
They're trying to double dip.
They want double dipped insurance. As a biological male, they have insurance. No one is discriminating against them. When they go to get the prostate and all these other things, the insurance will cover it. Them going to see even, and then some things are just specialists. So you have your deductible, so you're going to pay a little bit more money than versus the regular copay. But
correct,
you have insurance that covers your biology, the body you have. You do. And if you needed Viagra, you would get it as a trans person.
You would, yes.
So you have those rights too.
Little do they know.
But why would you get birth control? Because you don't have the body. So see how you see the games they're playing? They're playing the games and they think the rest of us are stupid. You have insurance that covers your body.
You don't have ovaries, so your insurance would not cover you getting birth control.
I'm telling you. Jason says when a trans woman stops taking feminizing hormone therapy, some changes will reverse while others are permanent. Reversible changes include decrease in muscle mass and strength and softening.
Well, that's your problem if you start growing a mustache again.
Yeah, they're lying, and they're lying. It's crazy to me. They have insurance that matches their biology. Your insurance covers your body, your biology. Why would your insurance cover a biology that you don't have? So, but they're saying, oh, that's discrimination. We're women too, but we're going by sex and not gender. Health insurance is by sex, not gender. Because here's the thing: you have people now that are identifying as fairies. I'm sorry. Do we have fairy insurance now? What if my wings fall off? You don't actually have wings, so there's no insurance for that. It actually goes by sex. It doesn't go by gender. It goes by sex. Y'all separated They separated gender and sex and said, okay, this is the sex, boom, male, female. Then you have gender, which could be. So why would the health and medical field ever follow something that's always changing? And no, it just goes by your biology. If you identify as a gerbil, what would you have? Gerbil insurance? These people are just crazy. I don't think they realize what they're saying. Sandman says it's the LGBT. You ended it with the jelly WD-40 quote. WD. Oh my goodness. Cool Bean says the voice stays deep and long-term health risks develop. No says if you can conceive a child, then you are a woman, plain and simple. And they trying to change that. They calling it a birthing person. And like when I remember when I seen a news article and people were running around, they had actually confused people on the internet. I don't know if you remember, they confused people on the internet because you had people saying, "Oh my God, do you know that they found a way for a man to have a child?" People did not know that that was a woman that transitioned to a man. People were
Oh
actually
wow,
thinking that the scientists cracked some code or something.
man.
Right, but that's because they want to do this whole trick of we're separating sex from gender. So that was a gender man, but a biological female. So, and this is why most people just walk away from the conversation.
Right. I like to have the conversation because I'm childish.
Yo, what's up, Diane? I've heard people talk about that before with the protein milk to the infants government program. Soy chemical changes a little boy's brain. Estrogen in the soy changed the chemistry in these men. Welcome to America. Yeah. And you talking about the wick women on that wick. Yeah. Yeah, cool bean. They breastfeeding baby, but they try to change it to chest feeding. They try to change the words. But see, that goes back to this conversation that they're having now. Remember when they were talking about the pronouns and stuff? It's like if you give a person an inch, they take a mile. And so a person's like, look, I don't even want to walk down this path with you. Because where will you stop?
They don't.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. They just don't stop.
Shout out to Marcus. He says he remembers that. Yep. This is crazy.
They suffer these horrible disfigurements, so they can't even get the plastic surgery to fix that. I do think that needs to be fixed, and that does need to be changed, but I also don't think that needs to take away from trans medical issues or things like that to do so.
I mean, yeah, that's why I kind of put that I didn't think it was necessary, because overall healthcare for men and women both, I think, yeah, okay, you should be able to go and get that kind of healthcare. But when it's subsidized by the government, gender transitioning, I think that's where I draw the line, because I agree kind of on that point. I don't think a lot of things should be subsidized by the government.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Sure.
If you want to continue, you can continue. Sorry, I'll ask after.
Yeah, so that's pretty much my point. Is I just think because it's a choice, it's something that you choose for yourself. I know we could debate back and forth on that, but it's something you want to go and get breasts, you want to get a sex change, you want those hormone blockers so you can feel more like a woman. I don't think that my taxpayer dollars should have to fund that, and I don't think my taxpayer dollars should have to fund a lot of things. So
what about like antidepressants for someone who is depressed or something like that?
No,
I mean, let's say
So
like
we just have
anything.
opposite views, I think, on terms of that, and I kind of respect it.
Wait, can I ask something though?
understand
Would
it,
you guys
actually.
agree with subsidization or subsidizing whatever if I wanted boobs to make me feel more feminine because I have no boobs?
That could be access to gender affirming care for you.
If it cures or calms down your suicidal thoughts, or if it improves your mental health, I am for it. And your quality of life, I'm definitely for it. I actually understand your standpoint on not wanting to subsidize this. I completely understand it. I don't agree with it, but I do understand, but here's the reality. Our tax dollars are funding things that we don't like. And there's nothing that we can do about it. And so I think that's just something that we can't control. We don't have no
And
control
at least
around that.
I'm going to
So
say
I just wanna
this
make
just from
that
my personal
clear.
standpoint. The reason why I'd be more hesitant on that is because unlike body dysmorphia, which, it can be talked through, it can be, cured basically. You can't really do that with gender dysphoria. You can alleviate it. And there is some people who, like I said, maybe they don't need a transition to alleviate it. Maybe they can live their lives as.
Hold on, Cool Bean. You saying they fighting to be able to feed babies with their lactation? Like because I know because you got some guys that can lactate, like they force it, right? They practice like suctioning. That's what you were talking about. Wow. Oh man. I had looked it up too. I said, I looked up what are trans medical issues. It said, trans medical issues include health concerns associated with hormone therapy and surgery. So that's what they're talking about. They want to be able to get hormone therapy and surgery. Higher rates of certain conditions like HIV and significant disparity, right? Which when it comes to HIV and diseases, that's everybody's concern because we live in this culture of casual sex and you do whatever you want to do. It's your body and you free to just sleep around and stuff like that, But a good thing is sexual behavior amongst teenagers have dropped. Why? Because an increase in sex education and how it is delivered, teenagers have calmed down, and shout out to that. That is an amazing thing that the sex amongst these teenagers, younger people, lessening, teen pregnancy and all those things because of just education alone, right?
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and then they say significant disparities in healthcare access due to discrimination and lack of knowledgeable providers. But that goes back to what I was saying before. They just want to be able to double dip. The healthcare is for their bodies is definitely available. So, but they're naming things that's like I had a friend of mine. She had periods that used to put her in the hospital. These are like medical conditions out of a person's hand. They're just, of course, you're gonna have an issue if you're trying to change the whole chemical makeup of your body because you feel like you got the right one. It's just two different arguments, and try to blame that and say that's the world discriminating on you is it's just weird to me. I think it's just dishonest.
It really is.
Yeah.
Gender perfectly fine, but they have these dysphoric thoughts. But then there are people where it is more severe. I think if body dysmorphia, you couldn't cure it at all and it was just awful, then yeah, totally. Yeah. But you can have a therapy talk down, whereas gender dysphoria, you can't really talk down that. It's just there. You're born with it. It's kind of just an innate fact of you, which is unfortunate.
No, I just appreciate like consistency. You know what I mean?
No, I get that.
Because if you said no, I think that would be super unfair.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, I actually like that you brought that in a little bit because I do feel like even cisgender people do get gender affirming care. I know somebody that was a man that he grew breasts naturally. He was testosterone normal human and had to get it removed.
Who paid for that?
Huh?
Who paid for that?
I honestly, I'm going to be real. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know, but I was
damn well he paid for it himself.
more so just bringing up like the fact like that I do believe that cisgender people can also receive gender health care. You kind of see what I'm saying?
I'm willing to learn from women with different gender identities.
Oh, the new prop is I'm willing to learn from women with different gender identities. Shout out Chaos in the chat says transgenderism is a byproduct of feminism. Desperate need to break down societal and cultural norms. Latanya says I'm wondering why men who've had bottom surgery to affirm their belief not be satisfied with going to those who specialize in men who've had bottom surgery. Let's scroll down. Oh. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't willing to hear
My
from
mouse is
different
freezing
people.
up.
Now, whether or not I'm
Okay.
going to take what you're saying as Bible, no, probably not, but I can come here and I can try to approach it from an empathetic and compassionate point of view. I think for me, one of my hesitancies with coming on an episode like this is I never want my politics to overshadow the love I have for other people. And I just want to let you guys know that there's so much love for you, and I can try to put myself in your shoes to where if I was in a body that I didn't feel comfortable in, how hard that would be. And so there's so much compassion from my side. Now, I also want to speak in truth. And so when I speak to you, I want to try to tell you what I believe to be the truth, because if I believe all these things, but I'm not telling you how kind of me is that really from my perspective. And so, yes, I'm happy to come here and I'm happy to hear from you so that I can develop a further understanding. But at the end of the day, am I going to take your opinions as just as valuable as a biological woman? No, probably not.
So that's the reason why I put no up. I am happy to be here and listen to you guys as people and learn about your lived experiences and what you guys go through and listen to your opinions. But do I take that to change my core beliefs? No, because as you guys know, in my opinion, I don't feel like you guys are actual women. I know that you guys are biological men. And so that's the reason why
She's
I gave
standing
the
on
answer I did,
business.
because I'm not learning from another woman, but I'm learning from another human being. Yeah. And that's okay.
I just feel like you didn't come here in good faith. You specifically. I feel I receive things from you. I've taken things from you. I've taken things from you. You're the only one
That's
that I'm having a
wild.
rough time because you're talking in absolutes. Even you. I was fully expecting you and
I thought you were the
but
worst.
I no, seriously. And I hear and even
I know, but see, they're the ones that's not respecting anybody's opinion. You ask a question, and I can only give you the answer. I am here in good faith. As a matter of fact, I'm here in such good faith. I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm not going to smile in your face and lie to you and tell you that I think you're something that I don't. And here's the thing: I showed up. You don't know. People have to allow people to. Here's another thing that they're doing that's wrong is that I could change my mind a week from now, or adjust my thought a week from now. I haven't even left here and thought about everything that I've heard yet, or will I make it? Now I might not make an adjustment, but you don't know that. So you can't say I'm not here in good faith. I'm here to have the conversation and be honest and speak from my speak from my position. I know that you're a biological male, and I'm sorry. What? That's how that person feels.
I mean, that's what's true. At the end of the day.
I don't know. Latalia said, I wonder why do they need to go to a gynecologist that specializes in female reproductive parts instead of just sticking with those who specialize in men who had bottom surgery? I don't know about that. I don't know. Do they? I'll look it up while this is playing. But yeah, I don't know. They go to a gynecologist? I guess so. I don't know. Let me see.
even you, like I heard that first part. I really do. And I honestly, I'm going to be real. Like I do receive your empathy. I do see that you're a kind person. And I received that from you as well. You were very kind when we went into the dressing rooms and respected.
And you don't think I'm kind now? But it's how I feel, and it's the truth. I don't want to lie to you.
Yeah,
I want to.
I was just saying.
I want to be truthful to you. I feel like being truthful to you guys is very respectful. Like she said, if I lie to you, it doesn't do any good. You guys have said things that I don't agree with, that I feel are not true, but that's your opinion, and this is my opinion, and I'm being truthful with you. I'm not trying to be rude to you. I'm not trying to disrespect you, but you're learning about the other side. And so by learning about the other side, you're going to have to hear stuff like this that you don't agree with.
Yeah, so I'm going to give some hard truths because you also have to hear about the other side that you don't agree with. Now,
that's what I'm here for, to hear from the other side.
I'm personally grateful to be here because having this conversation with women, cis women, the biologicals, anything you want to name it or whatnot, it's a very challenging conversation because there's so much hatred online that pits us against each other. And so at least us being in alignment to have this conversation, whether we agree with each other, it's actually moving the needle forward. I have love for y'all. I don't agree with 99.99% of the things that y'all said, with the exception of you, you're a little bit more. And I was really surprised by you because I thought you would be the worst.
Okay.
But the thing is, the reality is, I have an experience, and this is my reality. We come here.
Kind of want to direct my.
Okay, that is the end of it. I looked it up. Latanya, I guess they're saying because after they get the surgery, that the surgery they do gives them a vulva and for vagina. So no, they don't have all the other parts. But without a uterus or a cervix, you still need college. Go see a gynecologist. So they have that part. But I guess, but you have women that go get a what is it? What is it? The hysterectomy, and they still go see OBGYN. So that's why. So OBGYN would just, if you had that bottom surgery, since you have now flipped that one piece into another piece, then naturally you would go see an OBGYN is how they putting it, So I think that would just be the natural I guess that would just be the only doctor that could look and tell you. I mean, you couldn't go see a doctor that's not an OBGYN to tend to that, they wouldn't know. You have turned your sex organ into a woman's sex organ, technically. So I guess OBGYN would be the closest person to maintain that and look at that, It makes sense to me.
I don't know. I thought it was a plastic surgeon that did that.
Well, I'm saying for the maintaining and care every year to go look and make sure there's no infections, the tools they need to look up in there, make sure it's not infected and things like that. That would be an OBGYN. A plastic surgeon just made it, But
But
just
yeah,
a
I
person
got
with
you.
a practice that looks at it and the tools, you have to go
Yeah,
to
OB-GYN.
OBGYN, I would assume.
Yeah, I got you on that.
Yeah. What else I was gonna look up? Damn. Brain freeze, brain fart, whatever. I forgot what I was gonna look up. Shout out Mr. Marcus says you are correct. Risky. Appreciate you, brother. Latanya says so there are no people that specialize in bottom surgery. I think there are people that specialize in bottom surgery, like the best plastic surgeons that do that surgery, but the maintaining of it afterwards and the healing process, I think they're just labeled OBGYN.
Same doctors y'all go to.
Let me see. Any other doctor that Okay. Many different types of doctors can help with the care of trans women, including plastic and reconstructive surgeons for procedures, endocrinologists for hormone therapy, and gynecologists for reproductive health care. You can find them by using specialized directories, asking for referrals, or by searching for providers who have experience with gender affirming care. So I'm saying it right, endocrinologist.
I know you got me though.
Let me see. Hopefully it ain't showing up blurry. See that?
Endocrinologist. Endocrinologist. Yeah, I think you said it right the first time.
Yeah. I don't know.
I
Sometimes
didn't,
it show up blurry and
I didn't go to college.
in portrait mode. I did, man. I flunked out. And I went to go see the counselor, and she said, "You're wasting your money." She said, "You lost your scholarship. And then you pay for a whole semester out of pocket, and then you flunked. Please, sir, stop wasting your money. Just go do something else." I said, "That's it." She said, "Yep, goodbye." I walked out that office. I remember just tossing my book bag and everything into the car. I left. I ain't come back. I said, "She must know what she's talking about." I moved on with my life. School wasn't for me.
That's all right, bro. You're not the only one.
Mr. Martin talking about special ed, so I can't pronounce it.
He ain't even gonna try.
That was like that one word I was reading when I was doing that news report, and had to tell me how to read it. I was like, I've never seen that word. I've heard it before, but I ain't seen the word. I forget what word it was, but I had just never seen it written down. I was like, I don't know what that word is. Now I just skip over. I get to a word I can't pronounce it, I just skip over. I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna just summarize this. I'm doing a breeze through on this one. But endocrinologists, these doctors specialize in hormones and can help with managing hormone therapy, which is a key part of gender affirming care. The plastic surgeons, okay, we got that. Gender affirming surgeries, including facial feminization surgery to make the face more feminine, breast augmentation, and tracheal shave. And of course, we got gyno, reproductive health care, surgical medical care. Seems like they do some surgery as well, though. Now watch this. I wonder if they still gotta see a urologist. Urinary tract and male reproductive system, and may be involved in certain surgical procedures for trans women. So they still gotta go see a urologist. Well, some of them, right? Still gotta see a urologist. And primary health care physicians. So I don't know. It's still, I don't know. It's tricky. I think that you're gonna have more doctors living this life as a trans woman, but I would assume it may be maybe a little bit more simpler for a trans man, because they do get the breasts taken off sometimes. I think it's a little bit more steps, what it seems like. But I don't know. But I think I do kind of understand a little bit more now, where I feel like when they say healthcare, they probably want to get a healthcare package that just includes all of these things.
I mean, so what? It would just be directed to trans?
Hmm?
It would just be for
Yeah,
trans at that point?
yeah, but that's the thing. They say it's not. They remember they was recognizing like it's not a mental health thing, and they tried to normalize it so much to the point, and then now they're trying to backtrack and go, oh no, this should be something covered under healthcare. So I don't know what they would put it up under. I don't know. But I enjoyed that conversation in peace. I think it was so emotional that I don't think either side truly understood each other.
No.
At all. I think the black trans woman did nobody justice on that side. I think that person ruined the conversation for a lot of people, especially with the comment when they made and they said, "Well, being a black trans woman, my voice is should take precedent over other people's voices," and said that while sitting next to other trans women was ridiculous to me. I think they should have been kicked off the show for saying that. Let's see. Tiny says, understood. I'm still very experimental. I like Buck Angel's channel. I'm still seeking to understand. It's still relatively new, these types of series, hence the complications. Yeah, I'm what you say, Buck Angels? I'll probably check that out, look that up. It depends on who you talking to. I think the other trans woman, the trans woman, what's their name?
I don't remember
Blair.
the names.
Blair be saying things they don't like. And Blair's the trans woman.
Which one was
Oh,
Blair?
I know who you talking about, Buck Angel. Buck Angel was in porn. Right? Yeah, that's Buck Angel. That's from doing porn. Let me see. What you saying, Prince?
Well, I said, which trans were you talking about? The one that was saying, the one that was speaking. Speaking of mine.
Blair. Blair is a popular trans woman on like YouTube and all the other channels, and they don't have the like Blair would have disagreed with most of those trans women on that show. So when that woman said, "Oh, I like Blair," they were like, "Oh, right," because Blair is like a conservative, I guess. But this is who in the comments they're talking about. This is a trans man, and they used to man, they did porn a long time ago. You see him?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And it was crazy because when you see, you would never guess they used to be a woman. That they were born a woman.
Oh wow.
Like you see what I'm saying? You would never guess it.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, you would never get like he popular. Like that's what I'm saying. He did porn and everything. Like very like famous, popular, been around for a long time. Been around for a long time. I'm surprised. Like he aged very fucking well. Or it's like he went to a certain age and stopped aging. I don't know.
Well, that happens apparently.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check those out. I'm gonna have to check those videos out. I subscribe to Buck Angel. You said Tony says his platform gives a voice to those who are transitioning. Okay, I'll check that out. I'll go down that.
Detransitioning.
I'll go down that rabbit hole. I be sharing stuff with my friends and family on Instagram, and I've been told I need to change my algorithm. I was like, yo, you go some dark places. Okay. All right, man. I'm about to go get me something to eat, man. I might jump back on
Word.
though. I'm glad we got to do this one.
Yeah, this was fun. Yeah, this one was nice. I can't believe she told him lies about the Leah trans the swimmer.
Oh yeah, man. Man, they was lying. Like how Leah, how you ranking 500, and then you jump up to number 5? Come on, that's crazy. I appreciate everybody coming through. Shout out to Miss Latanya, definitely. Catch you later. I might be on a little bit later. I don't know, but I also might record some pre. Sometimes during the week I do pre-recordings because I just got to record them when I get the time. So if you do say something in the comment section and I don't respond, it's probably a pre-recording. All right, my brother, Mr. Marcus. That's another legend in the industry, Mr. Marcus. Now, I've been joking about it, Mr. Marcus. You're not the real Mr. Marcus, though, are you? You just let me think that y'all just got the same names, right?
You ain't right, bro.
You know, those times I was calling him Mr. Marcus, and then one day it hit me. I'm like, "You calling him Mr. Marcus? That's the porn guy. That's the legend himself." Remember, he was the guy that performed with when Superhead did that porn that time. That was Mr. Marcus.
Oh yeah. How could one forget?
Oh man. I gotta go work out and do some stretching too, dog, man. All right, I got that. Boom, boom, boom. Close that out. Close that out. All right. But yeah, if I come back later on, I might do like a I don't know, like a news story or something like that.
All
Or
right.
I might do something with dating. I get bored with the dating conversations, but
Haven't did a pop the balloon in a long time.
I know. But I seen this thing with the No Fugazi show, and it gave me an idea about like standards and like when should people apply standards. I find that most people try to apply standards too late, like when the relationship is already started, like when arguing about like, oh, what if your woman dressed a certain way? And I'm like, you should have been known how she dresses, and you know what I mean? If you dated somebody 2 years, you pretty much know how they're gonna dress and what to expect from them. So if you had an issue with what they wear, that should have been one of the things you brought up in the beginning of a relationship. So, yeah. See. Jason, he's still going there. You see Jason coming. Jason.
Said we wiping flush.
Oh man. All right, man. I appreciate y'all all coming through, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all a little bit later and stuff. I'll try to post more, but I be getting lazy sometimes. Anyway. All right, Prince, any last words?
Nah, no last words, bro. I holler at you, man. Y'all be cool, bro.
All right, I'm out, man. And I got to work on the thumbnail for this video too. So, hey. Peace.
Risky behavior.